I noticed there's like this little residue near the air holes. What the fuck is that? So I'm like, I went to clean it more, and ran my finger over those machined air holes, and they're like metal, like bits that bloomed out and curled back at the edges. So they weren't scraped down. So like, my thumb got fucking cut up from just like scraping over that shit.
Damn.
Yeah.
You got fucked up. I'll be right
Yeah,
back.
dude.
All right, yo, it's your boy Yoshikidneo, and we're back in the world of Boridil, the kingdoms of Boridil. And today I think today will be more of an RP heavy session, to be honest. Last session they went through a tomb, so it was very like dungeon delvy. There was some fighting, very minimal actually. They skipped like a whole fight, which awarded them some hefty XP for doing that. That was clutch on their part. They did really good. But today is definitely more RP based. I believe they'll get a little more backstory about the kingdom of Ziradel and things like that, depending on what it is they do. Because I don't know 100% what they plan to do, but I have some ideas on how to make them do what I want them to. So we'll see if it all works, but enjoy! Okay. So, is everyone back?
Yep.
I'm here.
Gerald?
Go.
Okay, cool. Alright, and then I can just recap a little bit to Kirsten once she gets on. But to bring us in, let me find... I think I like this. So the last time we left our heroes, you guys had just found your good friend Rakim, aka Zuka, from what you guys have been used to calling him until recent days. He was being kept in a sort of jail cell, kind of deep underneath the earth near the Orcish settlements. And after releasing him and getting outside, he had told you guys about some tomb that he overheard the shaman talking about. And he was trying to persuade you all to go there, but it was just a little too fishy for you guys at first. You didn't really want to just go, especially after the breakout of Rakim was so easy. But after going over to the western settlements to see if you could figure out if they're the culprits that have been attacking the Tusculi, you guys were met with orcs that wanted to take all of your food and belongings, especially after they saw Prince Rakim with you. They were easily subdued, as they are quite in a weakened state, having not been properly fed and such, or properly supplied in a few weeks. So they're lacking in that. Their shaman essentially engulfed them into the sand, making it quick work for you guys to ask some questions and be told that he was trying everything he could to get these folks to not, or get these orcs to sort of settle down. It was at this moment that Rakim pleaded with you guys to go to the tomb because he thinks that that's y'all's best chance to sort of solve this whole issue, in which Abel had told you guys he could ride to the capital to inform the king about these events. That way he's informed while you guys go and try to get whatever this item is that he's talking about. On your way there, you were met with a pretty large sandstorm slash thunderstorm in the middle of the desert. And while the lightning was striking all around you guys, you ended up seeing like little plates of glass being made from the sheer heat of the thunder strikes on the sand. So Rakim and Oswald tied rope around Rakim and had the immovable rod set in place, and everyone had hands on the rope to pull him in just in case he got lost or something like that while he went to go and fetch one of these glass plates after breaking one of them. And while he was out there, this rock that had been struck by lightning and had been glowing this faint blue color started to move. And then Rakim started tugging on to the rope, and you guys pulled him while he full sprinted, and this rock followed. And it wasn't no ordinary rock. It was actually the horn of an ancient blue dragon that was starting to attack your tiny hut that Alfric had put up. Luckily, the tiny hut is impenetrable at this moment, and the dragon just waited outside, kind of like a game of cat and mouse. But it kept trying to speak to you guys, and at first you guys didn't say anything, but then I forget who it was that spoke out. I'm pretty sure it was Zuka. Zuka spoke out, and you guys had a conversation with the dragon, and he told you that he could wait there all day if he wanted to. He's got nowhere else to be. It would be you guys that are in a lot of trouble. So Alfric dropped the spell of Tiny Hut in order for you guys to come face to face with the dragon, which he promptly ended the sandstorm and told you guys about some ruins nearby that he wanted you guys to go and investigate and grab some treasure for him, for he was much too large. You guys already needed to go to this location, so this was kind of like, a godsend in a way. This guy, or this dragon, is going to lead you directly to where you need to go. And he did just that. He told you to bring back as much of the jewels and things like that, jewels, gems, those things, as you could, and he would be waiting for you outside. As you guys delved into this temple, you got a little bit of a history lesson about this desert. This tomb belonged to an ancient orc king named Menet Ka, who thought himself to be above the gods themselves. But you came to realize after going through and overcoming some of the various traps and things and other enemies inside of this tomb that at the end of the tomb was him laid to rest, and obviously he wasn't anything shy of a mortal. So, but you guys found quite a few things. Most notably, after everyone started to kind of suffocate during your underwater battle with the ghost, Lacan and Cyrene had opened up the sarcophagus and had found some sort of like glass rod and a metal sort of quarterstaff, as well as a black leather tome, which they had grabbed and swam to follow the rest of you guys back to the surface, which is where we will begin our session with you guys essentially with Mirrodin leading the pack of swimming, bursting out of this like sort of puddle in the middle of the desert and sort of crawling up the side of this sort of slope of sand and kind of just turning back and taking in huge deep breaths. Followed then by Alfric and then Zuka. And then probably about 30 seconds afterwards, Cyrene and Lacan come out. Definitely not as battered or as out of breath as the rest of you, thanks to their gills. And as you guys do come out, you notice that Nindarog is kind of sitting there. He's laid down probably about 20 feet away from you guys. He's got his front paws sort of crossed over each other, and you can see his tail behind him sort of flicking the sand in a very playful manner as he's here to greet you guys. So, what great gifts did you bring me?
I'm still coughing up water. Hey, Nidorog, how are you doing? I didn't expect to see you so soon. We're actually just about to go back down. I think there's a few more turns we can make. Just give us a moment, and I try to hurry everyone else back down.
We're not going back through that way, are we? Can we go, I don't know, through the actual door?
I guess. I don't even know where that's at anymore.
Well, judging by this location, it's probably about, and then Darog looks back behind him, 500 feet, maybe 1,000 away. But if you wish to go for another swim, by all means. But also, if you're trying to escape with your treasures, and you see sparks come out of his nostrils.
Oh no, never, no. Just we were in a hurry. There was a few traps and creatures down there that were attacking us. So just want to be thorough, you know.
That makes sense, yes. For if you do not have enough, well, that would be quite awkward.
I pull everyone aside and ask, do we want to go back down? Or do we just want to call it quits here? Do you guys think we have enough?
Well, I feel like I want to go exploring some more regardless. Just not back through the water with no air pockets.
Okay. Brady, since we leveled up, would it be appropriate to use those spells we just learned, or,
Yeah,
or no?
I'll allow it.
Okay. I'll
You
start this.
metagaming motherfucker.
No, this is actually on the list. I
Yeah,
pre-selected.
I know. So you guys watch
Well-
Alfric sit and then start to cast his spell. And after 10 minutes go by, he will have casted water breathing on everyone that is not able to breathe water normally, aka himself, Zuka, and Mirden. So while he's casting the spell, everyone can talk to each other while he's, doing his thing.
Right. Like, my near-death experience while drowning, I actually learned, you know what? We can breathe underwater.
Guys,
Fuck
I forgot
off.
I could do that. Guys, I forgot I could do this.
Yeah, slipped my mind. Sorry, guys.
So while he's casting the spell, Nindarog will kind of like glance over and be like, well, while he's taking care of that, go ahead and show me what you have now. Maybe it's enough.
Mirrodin ain't got shit.
I'll walk up and just drop the bag of 2,000 jewelry, as well as that cloak.
He looks down and he pulls the cloak aside and he kind of tosses it back to you. I have no need for mere trinkets, but this bag. And he starts with his large claw. He starts to look through it and he can see the little bits of gems and stuff and the large necklace. And, well, it's not large, but the like golden necklace. And he pulls it out. The 4 little beads sort of clacking on the side. Click, 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 click. And he looks at it. Ooh. This is quite good. But, and he drops it all back in the bag, and then he grabs the bag with his claw and starts to you can see him sort of like a cat burying their shit after they take use the bathroom. He kind of starts doing that with this bag underneath his paw, and he's, your friend is right. You probably do need more than that. Was there anything else that you all found?
After I'm done with the ritual, I'd like to show the aquamarine, the pearl, and the silver chalice with the bloodstones.
Okay, I'll give Zuka a chance to say something. And then if he doesn't, then Cyrene would come up with the glass rod, the book, and the quarterstaff and be like, well, we have these things too. And he sits there and sort of snorts a little like spark of electricity like in her face, which you can see like is very discomforting, especially after her just getting out of the water. Weapons do me no good, and if anything, equipping you all to be better suited for these tombs would be what I wish. You may keep those, but I definitely require more than this. This is all you found in a whole buried civilization?
Well, there's this area full of coffins that we haven't gone thoroughly through yet.
Hmm. Well, if you haven't gone through, then why are we waiting around? You have more work to do.
Is Jeff done casting his spell?
Hey.
Almost. Gerald shows the other the circlet, the water skin, and the scimitar, and he takes the circlet and he looks at it and goes, "If only it was a sapphire, but it will do." And he tucks it away into the sand and buries it with one paw. And he's kind of doing this thing like when you take sand and you just keep on like with one hand, just keep on like, I guess, agitating it. That's how he buries it. But he hands you back the water skin and the weapon and goes, "Is your friend done yet?" And after a few more moments, Alfric is done casting water breathing.
Okay, and I assume I could I have heard what they were saying this entire time, or was that too
Yeah,
focused?
you're
Okay.
not so in concentration that you can't understand what's going on around you.
Okay. Then I'll pull out the pearl, the aquamarine. I think I actually have the tiara, the circlet on me,
Oh, do you?
and yeah, and the chalice. So yeah, the pearl, aquamarine, the circlet, and the chalice with the bloodstones on it.
Okay.
And I'll just kind of show that to him.
Is this the pearl that you had before you went in the tomb?
No, this is the scorching. I had the scorching ray one.
Oh,
And I
yeah,
think,
that one. Yeah,
yeah,
I remember.
I think Gerald had the necklace of fireballs on him.
Yeah, someone had it. Regardless, he looks at the chalice and the circlet, and he'll take those, but he'll give you the rest of the stuff and be like, "Yes, this will do for now. Go back
Okay,
though.
so he
Find
takes
more."
the chalice and the circlet, or the chalice and the jewels.
The chalice and the jewels and the circlet.
Okay.
And he kind of gets down with his head like right in front of all of you and goes, "If you find gems, those are my favorite. Sapphires more than all others. Gold will do as well. But these items do not interest me."
Understood.
Sure thing, boss.
And you can see as he's laughing, like his mouth opens up and you can see the sparks of electricity. "Yes, this is going to be quite fun. I'm enjoying your company already. Which will mean that I need to start thinking of more work for you all. Now," and he starts to do a shooing motion with his hands, "you have work to do."
Yep, you're correct. And then I turn around and quickly run down into the water.
Okay.
I guess under the understanding that water breathing has been cast on me for probably like the second time in my life.
Correct. And within the past week.
I will also go into the water.
Okay, so it's a very similar experience when you get under there. You kind of sit there and you try to hold your breath as long as you can as you guys are swimming, following the little ley line of energy as you're going. And After about a minute goes, you kind of just go, all right, here we go. I really fucking hate this part. And you just, and you can feel the water as it starts to fill your lungs. And then all of a sudden you're able to breathe. And it's just a very off-putting like feeling. It does not feel that good. But for the sake of, because I know exactly where you guys, since you guys have already essentially been through and you figured out the puzzle, we'll just say that you guys are able, after about 5 minutes, it takes you 2 minutes to swim, it takes you about a minute to get back to that central chamber, and then it takes you another 2 minutes to get to where the sarcophagi are and stuff like that. Once you get there, let me have everyone roll a survival check.
Okay. Question as well about the central chamber.
Mm-hmm.
Would we be able to grab those 2 tablets we put into his sarcophagus?
Yeah.
Okay. I'd like to do so.
Okay.
And he said survival.
Also, I'm gonna put your tokens from this from our load opening screen. I'm gonna put them onto the actual token layer, so you guys can click on them and do the token actions if you need to, whenever we're doing like theater of mind and things like that. Okay.
You need to bump them up a bit, I think. Oh, never mind. I
Not
just need to scroll
skills.
down. Yeah. No. I wasn't all the way down on the screen.
Oh, for the tokens?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, so as you guys are moving through, Mirrodin, roll me a D100 as you are the first to go through and find one of the sarcophagi that looks pretty neat. So you go, hey guys, let's check this one out. And as you push it forward and it opens up, you notice that the sort of gold leaf flaking is kind of melded onto the cracks of the sarcophagi, and it's like this foil gold paper that you're sort of like moving. And as you and your group push open the sarcophagi, you notice a mummified corpse in there that does not spring up into action, unlike the other ones that you found earlier. And inside, you actually find that there's this sort of longsword looking weapon that has a faint red glow on the blade, and this corpse is kind of holding the handle with the blade heading towards their lower torso, and you just see the skulls kind of sitting there with 2 platinum coins inside of the eye sockets.
Well, that was an interesting skin treatment that they did back in the day.
How close is everyone else to him?
You guys are
take
all
the
right
sword.
there.
Okay.
Okay. So as you reach in and grab the sword, you feel a surge of magical energy through your palm, and you pull it out, and the hands kind of just fall to the side, and like it kicks up a little bit of dust, but you're able to sort of like shoo it away so that you don't breathe in this nastiness.
I swing it into the air.
Okay, so as you swing it, you notice that the sort of like red glow kind of like it kind of lights up a little extra like with the air as you start to swing it, but it doesn't like it's almost a very, like, think of a candlelight. That's how faint it is. It's a very dimly lit sword.
Okay.
And you do notice one other thing is, like, when you start to swing it, you can see like these sort of little embers falling and then just disappearing out of sight.
Is there a sheath for this sword?
When you look back in, you do notice towards the leg there is a nice decorated leather sheath.
Sick. I take it.
Okay. Who
So-
had the next one?
Describe the room again. Is it just the one with the sarcophagus?
Yeah, it's the really large, like everything looks the exact same. But as you guys are walking around, Mirrodin was the first to notice this sarcophagi had like extra gold flakes around it.
Okay,
Um,
okay.
So as you guys start to walk around again, let me get Lacan to roll the D100. 23.
By the way,
Mm-hmm.
did Mirrodin grab the platinum?
No. So if you would like to, you may.
Yeah, if no one grabbed it, then I'll grab it before I move on. Yeah, it's just 2, right?
Correct, yeah, just 2 platinum. So as you guys are walking through, Lacan points out another sarcophagi that looks very similar to the one before. And as you guys open that up, it's filled with probably like maybe 1 gold piece worth of gems, but then there's a couple bigger stones. Most notably a piece of amber, a sapphire, and a spinel, which is a transparent red. So, and each of these stones are worth about 100 gold apiece. And then you see similarly 2 platinum pieces in the eye sockets of the mummified corpse.
He'll definitely like that sapphire.
Yep.
Um,
Let me take it.
Yeah, I'll grab all of it.
Okay. Who that is there? Okay. Next, let us have Rakim roll the D100. Ooh. Nice. So as you're going through another sarcophagi, you guys kind of double back, going, "Let's try not to lose our way." And Rakim points out another sarcophagus, and you guys go and open it up, and very similar to the one that was wielding the sword, but this one's wearing a staff, or not wearing, but wielding a staff in its hand. It's got its hands clutched around the mid portion of the staff, 2 platinum coins in its eye, and you see that there's these wilted flowers, sort of like a flower crown around the skull.
Out of character, Brady.
Yeah.
Did you laugh because why I think you laughed?
No, I laugh because of the roll that you got and what you found in that sarcophagus.
Okay, never mind. So you said that I saw a crown, a wilted crown.
Yeah, wilted
Flowers?
flower crown. So obviously, kind of like this was probably like this mummified corpse was probably like the priestess or something.
Okay. So I grabbed the staff.
All right. And you feel a
Uh,
singe of magical energy surge through your hand, as you do.
So I'm astonished by this. All right. And what else you say was in there besides that and the crown?
Just the 2 platinum coins in the eye sockets of the mummified corpse.
I'm gonna reach for those coins.
All right, easy enough. Go ahead and add 2 platinum to your character sheet.
Okay. And does this crown look like anything like valuable?
It
Or
looks
is
like
it just-
wilted ass herbs.
That's all. You know what? I'm just gonna.
Probably not
I'm
worth
just-
anything, but you can take it if you want.
I'm taking it.
Okay, so as you touch the leaves, they disintegrate instantly into dust, and the whole flower crown sort of like falls to the bottom, and just sits there. And then you kind of look at it, and you've got your fingertips are now dusty. Do you go and try to grab the rest of it?
Yes.
Every time you touch it, it disintegrates into dust until it's no more. Some old ass flowers.
Okay. And just double check to make sure anything else is there.
Yeah, you don't see anything else of value except for this staff, so.
How many sarcophagus are there?
In the whole tomb, there's like thousands. But you guys are picking out the ones that, based on your survival rolls, you guys are picking out the ones that look like they're the most lootable, based on the sort of golden leaf foil that's around them.
I'm gonna just like open a couple nearby,
Okay.
just to see like, do they all have the platinum coins or?
And as you open up a couple, and in some of these lesser, like, you notice the gold foiling on some of these sarcophagi that are around this priestess. There's very minimal to no gold foil on some of these, and as you open it up, you're met with sort of like shattered clay pots inside of some of these sarcophagi, copper coins that are placed into the eye holes. A couple of them have silver coins. I'd say that after probably about a minute of opening these things, you end up finding a total of 36 copper and 10 silver pieces as you open and notice that not every citizen was buried with the same love and care.
Alright, yeah, I'll stop after that then.
Jeff, go ahead and roll a D100, please. Okay. All right. So as you open up another one of the more gold foiled sarcophagi, which you guys notice that there's not as many of these as there are the other ones, you're met with another corpse, mummified corpse, with 2 platinum pieces in their hand, and you see a scroll that they're holding in their hand.
Takes it.
As you grab it, you open it up, and you're somewhat familiar with what it says. Actually, I'll say that you make an Arcana check. Yeah, that's enough. As you open it up and look at it, you can tell that this is a scroll of Remove Curse.
Neat. I will put that in my bag and take the plat.
Okay. So add 2 plat and the thingy. And then Cyrene. Let's see. So she goes and opens up one of these things. Where is it? Okay, there it is. And as she opens one of these, and you guys look with her, and there's this the corpse is wearing this sort of like intricately woven wooden sort of, it almost looks like chainmail, except for it's made out of wood. And as she goes in, reaches down and touches it, she feels a twinge of magical energy, and she asks you guys to sort of help delicately take off this chainmail so that she can get it. And then she goes ahead and pockets the 2 platinum pieces.
Alfred?
Let me see.
Yes.
There she is.
That area that you can go to, how often are you able to use that portal?
I believe it's once a day.
You
Let
would
me
be
look at it
correct.
again. Yeah, once a day.
Perhaps tomorrow then we should should probably see how many souls that soul or spirit was worth.
Oh, I wasn't there to collect it. I was swimming away at the time,
Correct.
so I was not there, and I feel as if the moment's already passed
You would be also correct.
to collect it.
So Alfric, I feel like Alfric would have eventually, in side conversation as you guys were exploring the tomb, would have kind of told you guys what he's learned about that that object. So I have made it available for everyone to look at, and the only souls that you can collect are humanoid souls. So those are going to be like your humans or elves, creatures of that nature. Just because they're humanoid shape doesn't mean necessarily that they are of the humanoid type for the purposes of that item. Do you guys wish to spend another 3 minutes of waltzing around the necropolis trying to find more sarcophagi to open up and
Fuck yeah,
possibly
dude!
get
I
more
love
stuff?
looting.
Yeah, let's defile these graves.
All
Yeah,
right.
I'd say let's.
Go ahead and everyone give me another survival check as you guys spend another 3 minutes looking through. I need to make her sheet, not GM. Cyrene rolled a natural 20.
I like that. It went in order. What? Good job, Hakeem, breaking the number.
You guys can't see it, but Cyrene rolled right after Lacan, and she had broken it actually with a 22. Which, let's see, she'll go ahead and roll this, a 97. Okay, so you guys open up another sarcophagi, and Cyrene reaches in, and she pulls out this scimitar. But there's nothing super special about it. It's just very intricately crafted, much like the one that Rakim had found. And it is a +1 scimitar. And then she pockets the 2 platinum pieces on the eye sockets of this person. Next is Jeff. Go ahead and roll D100. $38. Okay, you open up sarcophagus and find the 2 platinum pieces on the eye sockets, as well as some very nice artwork on this papyrus. And as you look at it, you can see this sort of glint as it's sort of, it looks like it was sort of encased in that golden foil to sort of preserve the artwork itself, and then it was painted over it. So as you reach down to touch it, it doesn't disintegrate like some of the other ancient wrappings and stuff like that. And as you're pulling it out, you guesstimate that this could probably be worth about 100 to 1,000 gold. But go ahead and give me a insight check.
Okay. Let me do that.
Yeah, after looking at it, you guesstimate it's probably on the low end. If anyone else is proficient in insight, you may roll to see if you can determine the actual value. Is Cyrene proficient? She is. Okay, so Alfric's like, hey guys, I think this would be worth like 100 gold. She kind of looks over at you and goes, obviously, you don't know much about art. That's probably worth about 900 gold. So go ahead and add that to your sheet as a piece of, I guess you could just put piece of artwork worth 900 gold. But it is made out of papyrus and that gold flaking that you've been seeing on the sides of these sarcophagi.
Okay.
Next is Lacan. Roll me that D100. Did he go through, or?
Yeah, I see 31.
Interesting. I must be lagging, because I don't see it. 31. Okay, so you open up one more sarcophagi, and this one doesn't have the platinum pieces. It actually has 2 gold pieces in the eye sockets. But you see this sort of the scroll that's opened up, and it's being held at sort of the top of the scroll, right underneath the chin of this mummified corpse, and it goes all the way down to the feet. And it's got a bunch of sprawling symbols and stuff, much like all of the symbolage and things that you've seen telling the story of Menet Ka. If you want to make actually, yeah, because your comprehend languages is only an hour, correct, Jeff?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, and that's long gone. So if you guys can all make a history check to see if you can figure out, based on what Alfred has already told you about this language. Okay. So Alfric and Lacan are actually able to sort of decipher it, and the scroll is very simple. It kind of goes through the sort of history of Menet Ka, and the last thing that you see on it is it says, "He is ever the master of all. Menet Ka is life, Menet Ka is death." After you read that, Alfric, you sort of think back to what that fire elemental had said, and this is the proper passcode that you needed to give him.
Ah, interesting. Okay. So seems we got ahead of ourselves there. Or maybe, do I know that was on the tablets or no?
The
Like
tablets
puzzle?
did not say that at all.
Oh,
No.
okay, never mind. Okay, then. Yeah, then we did get ahead of ourselves.
Yeah, when I had told you guys the tablets held the answer, that was incorrect on my part, but I'm pretty sure I retconned that before. Because you guys found the first tablet, and it had like the history and stuff, but the second tablet didn't have what you needed.
Okay.
This could still perhaps be worth something to a historian.
True. Yeah.
Am I able to like carefully roll it?
Yeah, this papyrus is it's been taken care of. Like, it's starting to crumble and stuff in places. But go ahead and do a sleight of hand check real quick. See how delicate. Okay.
Rip.
So you guys watch Lacan, and as he reaches in and grabs it, he kind of like, he notices that the rigor mortis is kind of got like a firm grip, so he just pulls it aside, and like the shoulders like get dislocated and the arms kind of fall to the side. But the papyrus is still in decent condition. He's like, whoops. And he just starts to roll it up.
I hand him a scroll, or I ask, hey, could I see that? Because I have a scroll case. I could put that in. Because I feel like I have 2 other scrolls in my back. I could also put that in as well. It's up to you, though. Yeah, and I put it in my scroll case with the rest of the scrolls.
All right, let's see. Next. All right, let's have Rakim go ahead and roll survival. Or not survival, D100. Here it is again. Okay, that was the last one you needed. So as you guys look through, you're starting to notice that there's a lot less of these special sarcophagi. But after another minute or so of searching, you do find one final sarcophagi that's kind of like this. And as you open it up, inside you see this very, very intricate looking sort of like talisman, I guess you could say, that's probably about the size of the palm of your hand. But it's got a bunch of scarabs sort of made out of gold, and in the middle of it there is a very large scarab that kind of brings all of these things together with this sort of ancient symbolism across it. And as you reach in to touch it, Rakim, you feel a surge of magical energy coming through your hand, and honestly, it's a lot more intense than any other magical item you've ever touched before. Also, there's 2 platinum in the eye sockets.
Did his quest log update?
Yes. Yes, it did. So you can put on your character sheet magic talisman, magic scarab talisman, something like that. And then Mirrodin, as you're going around looking for your next cut, you see another sarcophagi that's lightly coated in, what's it called? This gold flaky stuff. So you go to open it, and there's 2 platinum pieces in the eye sockets, and then there's about 18 gold coins that are roughly scattered within. And you kind of just look, and you're like, where's all the good loot, man?
Okay, I'll take the money.
Hello,
I'm not
Kirsten.
happy about it.
Heyo.
Cyrene just died.
Fuck you.
I'm being serious. You guys went
Wait.
back into the tomb, and you guys accidentally triggered one of the traps that causes her to be essentially trapped into a cage, and then sand opens up from the ceiling and starts to pour, and they couldn't figure out how to get you out of there.
Sorry.
That is an elaborate story that I don't believe.
I mean, you don't have to believe it, but Cyrene is no more.
Oh my god.
I'm also kidding. That's actually the trap that you guys avoided when you guys went through the tomb, though.
Yeah, see, that's what I was saying. I don't believe you for legit reason.
Makes sense. So at this point, as you guys are going through the necropolis even more and looking, you notice that all the gold flakiness that you guys have moved seems to be the last of it. You guys go down a little further to try to find some more, and you don't find any. So you guys could, if you wanted to, spend however much time opening these lesser sarcophagi, or you can leave.
Question.
Answer.
So so in that room with the 4 cardinal directions, we went through every door, correct?
Yes.
Okay, just double check.
Are we actually looking at the sarcophagi? Because I don't see anything.
No, we're on the title screen. I didn't want to.
Got it. Okay.
Put
Now, the underwater part, though, there were other directions.
Yes.
There was like 8 of them, right?
Correct.
We can
we
go
were-
back there.
Yeah, but to say, like, attempt to carefully see if those directions went anywhere.
Okay.
I was gonna rummage through the rest of these sarcophagus.
Okay. How long do you spend opening the random ones?
Remember, there's like thousands of them, so when you say the rest,
Yeah. If you literally mean all 1,000 of them, we can do that. If you really want to.
How long would that take?
More than 1,000
Years.
seconds.
Oh yeah, we have that thing. Um.
I'd say that it takes to open each sarcophagi. It takes 1 action, so you guys can open about 5 of them per 6 seconds.
Okay, I say like. And how long does this thing last?
The water
Alfred?
breathing spell lasts for 24 hours, but you guys can still, while you're back in here, the one thing you notice is that it's still kind of thin air. And the longer
Oh
you're staying in
yeah.
here, the harder it is getting to breathe.
Okay, I say like 10 minutes, you guys.
Sure.
Okay, so you spend 10 minutes opening sarcophagi.
Yes, sir.
Sounds good to me.
Okay. So you can add to your character sheet, and you can divide it up however you want to, but you can add 450 copper pieces and 150 silver pieces that you find opening up about 600 sarcophagi. Or not, that's too many. But you get it. Quick math.
Okay.
You said 450 and 250?
Correct.
Alright, cool.
Or 450 and 150. 450
150, my bad.
copper, 150 silver.
Hey, what's this one that's in between silver and
Electrum,
gold?
and we're not using it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Maybe in a new campaign I'll use it, but I didn't really see the point. Okay, so after 10 minutes have passed, you guys are noticing that it's getting a little bit harder to breathe.
Well, let's get on out of here.
Okay.
Go back to the central chamber, sarcophagus chamber.
Okay, roll a survival check.
Let me go to that.
There goes everybody. Okay. Alright, you guys don't have to roll anymore. Mirrodin's like, no guys, this way.
Again.
Yes. And then he, after about a minute of walking around, Mirrodin brings you guys back to the location, and he does that Will Smith pose where he's kind of like stepped to the side with his arms outstretched. And then from there, it takes about a minute to get to the central chamber. And you guys know that you do need to go to the right to get back to the underwater portion.
Now, once we get... Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, with great disdain, Mirrodin goes back to the underwater portion.
Okay. What were you
Do the
gonna say,
detours... Well, as we are going back into the underwater section, do the detours look like they did end, or would we have to go down
roll
the...
me a basic intelligence check. So based on what you saw, with the especially because the first time you guys came through here, Alfric had deciphered a sort of map that was inside of the golden tablets, and it led you guys to that sarcophagi at the end. One thing Alfric points out is that all the other ways led to other sprawling sort of like long hallways that would sprawl off into many directions, and all of them led to dead ends except for this location. And then as you guys sort of make your way back over there and get to the sarcophagi, you see that one ley line of sort of energy just pulsating heading towards the south, the way that you guys came back from and had escaped from earlier. And with that roll, you kind of gander that everything else is basically a dead end.
Looks like we may as well present what we find, and hopefully the dragon will be amused and let us go for now.
Yeah, we can only hope for the best.
Proceed to walk up.
Okay. So as you guys swim it takes 2 minutes to get from this sarcophagi to the outer portion, but this time Mirrodin, Alfric, and Rakim are not like trying to not die of suffocation and drowning. So you guys kind of like just meander your way swimming. Cyrene's got her mermaid tail out and she's like swimming circles around some of you that don't have a true swim speed. But you notice
I'm literally
that,
just walking on the bottom of the floor.
yeah, you notice that Alfric's actually quite fast while he's swimming too, which is very unlike Alfric. But he's swimming quite well. But yeah, about 2 minutes pass and you guys get back to, you can see that the light is just barely beating through. So as you get closer, you start to move the sand aside, and as you sort of come out, this sort of sinkhole is starting to shrink and get covered up with sand as the wind keeps blowing more and more of it over. And as you guys get out, you notice that Naderog is not there.
What time of day is it? Still daytime, right?
Yeah, it's still daytime. You would guesstimate probably anywhere between 2 in the afternoon to 4 in the afternoon.
I look over to Rakim and I ask, what did he say to call him? If we need to contact him? What do we need to do? There was something, I believe.
Honestly, last time we needed him, he just showed up. Like he was just there. So honestly, I would just yell his name. And I do so.
I'm sure he'll find us with no problem on his own.
So as you guys start to get your way out of the hole, Rakim gets to the top of this sort of sloped crater, and he screams out, "Naderog!" And as he looks around, he doesn't see anything. He looks to the sky, and it's a very pretty blue day. And he kind of just looks back to you guys and shrugs, and then all of a sudden the ground beneath him starts to shake. And as it starts to move, go ahead and roll a dexterity check for me, Rakim. Did it go through? Because I don't. Oh, there it is. And as this happens, you kind of like catch yourself and jump off and sort of slide down to the little slope to your friends as Naderog starts to shake off all the sand. And you see him with his gaping maw like yawning. What took you all so long? I got tired. And bored, frankly. Did you find anything better for me? Something that would be worthy of your lives?
I believe so.
I'll walk forward and just put the sapphire in front of him.
And he grabs it. It's quite tiny. There was nothing bigger down there?
Let's see. I had what? The amber and the fennel?
Sinnel, yeah.
Yeah, I just placed them there as well.
Ooh, you were holding out on me.
Well, no, not like that. I didn't place them as if I was hiding them, just, yeah.
I'm just fucking with you. Naderog says that, though. I'm only kidding. Very good, very good. What else did you find?
I asked him how does he feel about copper, silver, and like platinum pieces.
Platinum? I do like a little bit of platinum. Did you find some, then?
Yeah. I hand over all the platinum that I had. But just 4 pieces.
Yeah. My. You would think they would have a little bit more, but that is fine. And he takes these platinum pieces in his hand, and he actually throws them, like, probably a couple 100 feet into the desert.
I ask about why he's
Yeah.
throwing the treasure
Yeah.
randomly.
Yeah, I say the same thing too.
Well, this is my desert. This is my home. And now has become more of a treasure to me as I scatter coins around the sands as a reminder of my territory.
But what if, well, the sands move, so you'll lose them.
Oh no, I have quite the keen smell, and that's the best part about it. If someone were to take my coin and I can smell it on them, I kill them instantly for trying to
Okay.
steal from my domain.
Well, by that logic, then wouldn't everything in the tombs be yours anyway?
They are, I just was unable to grab them myself. Plus, they
Okay.
haven't been coated with my scent.
Ah, okay, I understand.
But you are correct. I'm glad you understand that these tombs are mine. But it's like a bank
Of
account
course.
that you can't withdraw from, if that makes any sense at all.
Of course.
Now,
Uh,
what else did you find? Anything?
I pull out a piece of artwork. Would this interest you by chance?
Kind of looks at it, and as you place it down, very ancient. I feel that this would be quite the collector's piece, but I'm not much interested in artwork. Perhaps, maybe, I will allow you to trade this in for, maybe some other gems of any sort that you can get your hands on for that piece.
All right. And I show him the 2 gold tablets as well.
Ooh.
I mentioned that these were used to get around the tomb. They were kind of acting like a key of sorts.
That is a very good bit of history, much like the painting. If you trade all those in, he starts to sort of stroke his chin. Maybe. I'll tell you what. You've all done me a great service so far, and will continue to do so as you cross my desert again. But I have something that I've been wanting to get my claws on for quite some time. And perhaps that painting and those gold tablets could help lead the way to it. It is a rather large sapphire, and he holds up his largest claw, which you notice is probably about a foot long and extremely sharp. This sapphire is probably about as large as the tip of my talon here. Yeah, it's this fucking big. You hear some goblins come over. Cool, cool. Also kidding, they don't do that.
So I mentioned, oh, we did find a sapphire in the tomb. Do you mean this one?
I'm
Notion.
pretty sure Lacan already.
Yeah, that
got
was
one.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
But he goes on to say, it's rather, from the stories I've heard, it's the largest sapphire known to exist so far, at least in a refined form. And it just so happens to be somewhere located in the capital of Ziradel. But I do not wish to go in and lay waste to the whole entire empire for a measly gem. But I would very much appreciate it. And he scratches his sort of chin as he says this. If you were to procure this, perhaps, maybe, you wouldn't have to delve into any more tombs for me, and I would allow you to come and go from this desert as you please.
All right.
Would Rakim know what this jewel is he speaks of?
Roll me a history check. So the sapphire, and a sapphire being that large, you've heard stories of a exquisite sapphire being found at some point in time in the history of the kingdom, but you don't know who currently has it. But the people call it the Jewel of the Sands. and it's something that treasure and gem collectors from all over the world have actually come to inquire about in the capital itself. But currently, based on what you know with that role, is that there is history and a legend of the sapphire, but you have no personal clue as to who could have it. But it is called the Jewel of the Sands.
Okay.
Well, I guess now that we've gotten all that out of the way, this should be good enough for your first crossing through my deserts. I will be hunting out more tombs to try to excavate here shortly. Probably take me a few days or so. Until I find these tombs, feel free to come and go as you please. But once I do, and I find your location, I will come, and you will aid me. Of course, all these magical items and weaponry, have fun with it. That is all yours. Think of it as a finder's fee. Not to mention the fact that if I give that to you now, you should be able to probably raid more tombs within a single day. This is going to be quite the great business association that we've got going on between us, and I do so look forward to our future working together. But for now, he kind of gets up and stretches like a cat would, and his wings sprawl out, and it's a pretty mighty, it's probably at least 30 feet wingspan, if not more, as he stretches out. I will allow you all to go ahead about your business, for this has brought a little smile on my face. Now,
Well,
go ahead.
Go on.
No,
I
you
said,
go.
I'm glad to be of service to you. Thank you for letting us pass through your domain.
Oh yes, any time. And please, do visit more often.
Sure thing, boss.
Ah, I like the sound of that. As he sort of turns around, he sort of like starts to run very majestically, and then he hops into the air and starts beating his wings, and he sort of circles around the air for a second, and then he starts heading towards the north. And after he gets to pretty far off, you watch him nosedive down, and you just see this big old explosion of sand, and then nothing.
Oh, that just happened.
Yeah,
like
Rakim
it.
falls down in great relief.
I look at Rakim. There are dragons in your deserts. Ah,
I like him.
we
I'm,
almost died.
I'm finding this stuff out as we go. It's crazy.
I can't say I quite like the drag. I mean, I don't know. It seems like
How about we leave?
yes.
Yeah, that is true.
Kirsten, you're muted. I'm not sure if you know that. I just want to make sure you're not saying anything and nothing's being heard.
Not at the moment. I'm just eating dinner. So
Oh, okay, cool.
I didn't want you guys to hear my chewing. Yeah, like that, except that sounded more like horse's hooves.
Oh, that works, yeah. Better than what I would have described it.
Alright. What the? God damn it, Brady. Okay, where are we going?
We're going back to the capital. I believe, aren't we? Or are we going to the other tomb? No, we're going back to the capital, I thought.
Isn't that Queen's Lair not too far from here?
Oh, that's what we're doing, yes. I looked to Rakim. Do you remember which way it was?
Can I roll a history check?
To figure out where you're at, roll survival.
Oh, survival. Oops.
Yeah, you know exactly where you're at right now.
With
Cool.
this event now.
Yeah, let let me bring you guys to the world map real fast. Okay, so let's see. Once my thing actually loads up, because it's like all grainy. Ooh. Ooh. The new token that I just placed on there is about where you guys are at. It doesn't have any lore or anything yet because I forgot to do that for my prep, so I'll do it before next session for sure. But you know that you're somewhere in the middle of this here large portion of the desert, and your best guess is that you need to go to the southwest to get to the Tusculi Queen.
Well, we better let her know that the shamans of the village are investigating which orcs had attacked, since they claim they are not attacking the schoolie, or at least were never ordered or aware of it.
Well, let's get going then.
Okay.
We still had a cart, right?
Well, it's about 500 feet away from you. But yeah, as you guys start walking that way, because Ndarog did point to where the entrance of the tomb was. So you guys head over there, and your camels are chilling, and there is your cart. But you notice that there is a camel that is not saddled and is kind of laying there beside your camels, and its tongue is sticking out as it's on its belly, kind of, and it looks like it's very thirsty. But the thing is, after you sort of count all your camels again, you notice that this is one extra camel.
Huh?
I don't like this. Why is there an extra camel?
I'll walk up to it.
Okay. As you do, roll a perception check.
Don't we have like a thing that has lots of water in it or something, or is that somewhere else I'm thinking of?
No, you do.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm gonna do that as well.
Okay.
You said perception, right?
Correct.
Like if it's thirsty, let it drink water.
Okay, so as you're walking up to it, you don't notice anything out of the ordinary as you go to uncork your decanter of endless water.
And I just start making it rain water on this camel, and also make it drink some too.
Okay. So if you go to the magic item, there's 3 different command words that you can give it. Which of those 3 do you use? You can either say stream for 1 gallon of water, fountain for 5-gallon waters, or geyser for 30 gallons of water that actually works kind of like a hydro pump from a Blastoise.
Oh dang!
I say that because it hurts people.
So you mean we could
So I
like,
can't make
we
it
could be
rain?
we could be like those firefighters that were hosing people down.
Yeah, exactly. You
Yeah,
could be like the
basically.
Chinese.
Oh my god.
Too soon? Free Hong Kong.
Wow. Brady's making a political stand in public.
Yup. Here on D&D.
Live streaming on D&D.
They don't do shit.
Now we're
You
gonna get
can't be a
blocked by
political
like Google
stand
and
no one
everyone.
watches.
Yeah. Yeah, so if you want to make it rain, you would shout geyser and hold it up into the air, and it would literally like a fire hose, like just expelling water and everything's getting wet. Is that what you wish to do?
Yes.
Okay, so as you do
Oh
that,
my
the
God.
camel kind of like you do this, and you're kind of like, wow, this thing's fucking dope. And you're just looking at it, and you look down, and the camel's like got its one. It has one eye open, and you notice that its tongue is like flopping from the left to the right, catching these water drops, and it's just doing that. And then it looks at you, noticing this, and it resets its position with its tongue in front of it, and it closes its eyes. After a couple seconds, you keep this geyser going, and it keeps doing it again, and then it looks at you noticing this, and it resets again.
How long does this last?
How long does the geyser last? It lasts for... Actually, I guess it's literally just a single, like, 6-second action. So it lasts about 6 seconds before the geyser stops, but there's enough water with it being able to go 300 feet that it like continuously just doing. So I'd say for 2 whole rounds it does this, and then it stops every time it notices you looking at it. And there's no more rain, but there's a mighty fine puddle that you have created now, and some of it has gotten to the side, and you can see the camel using its tongue to sort of slide its head very slowly to where it can place it into the water, and it starts to slurp it up like a dog. But every time it notices you looking at it again, it sort of stops.
I'm gonna quietly cast Speak with Animals.
Okay.
I'm gonna sit in front of it, like as it's drinking, like kind of petting it and stuff, and then also I'm throwing this water skin towards Siren.
Okay. So as you sit down to start petting it, you notice it kind of like its whole body kind of like shivers as you touch it the first time, and then afterwards it kind of like barely peeks its eye open and then closes it real quick. Cyrene, you finish casting your spell.
Yeah, I'm going to get close to one of our camels and like whisper to it, "Who's this?"
One of them looks at you after it had been drinking some of the water too and goes, I don't know. He just came out of nowhere, laid down there, and stuck out his tongue.
Has he been a camel this entire time?
That's a weird question. He kind of looks to another camel. Have we been camels this entire time? Yes, 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 yes! Yes, I believe he has been a camel the entire time.
Okay. I'm gonna get close to Zuka and the new camel and be like, "Who are you?"
Okay, and as you do that, the camel opens its eye and goes, Are you going to hurt me?
That's not the plan.
Okay. And the camel like shakes its head and stands up and goes, Well, it's finally good to meet you all. My name's Nietzsche and I'm a bear.
She's the one that can hear
Nature.
this. So yeah.
Yeah, she's the only one that understands him right now.
You don't look like a bear.
Is she talking?
Yeah,
Is
she's
she
talking
talking
in like camel right now. Or
Oh.
no, wait, actually, how does speak with animals? I'm pretty sure it allows you to understand them, but you still talk to them normal. So you guys hear her saying this stuff, but you hear the camel go.
Let me take it. You can change your form?
Oh, yes, actually, I can. Well, actually, and he drops his wild shape, and now you see this 6-foot something brown bear standing in front of you with antlers, much like a majestic deer, and a staff appear in front of you all, and it kind of like shakes its fur, and you notice these little droplets of water start going everywhere. Well, and at this point, all of you can understand him. Thank you
Holy
very
The
much.
fuck?
What is that?
Yeah,
No one attack! He's a friend! He's a druid!
Yes, I thought you had told him I was a friend already.
yeah.
No. They
I-
probably inferred.
Not really though.
Okay.
I was gonna say I had my blade in hand when this happened, and
Oh.
I fell back to the floor.
Don't worry. well, and he scratches his head. Whatever your name is, my name is Nietzsche, and I'm a bear. But a
I
friendly
go
bear.
up to Nietzsche and I pat his hand and I say, I'm Cyrene.
Oh, wonderful to meet you. I'm actually very curious. How are you able to speak to my camel form?
I believe
And
we're
the
both
fact that you
druids.
actually spoke to the other camels and they understood you. The fact that they didn't rat me out was also really fun. Thank you, guys. And he starts talking to the other camels. They're like, no problem, Nietzsche.
I believe we're both druids. I'm a druid that studied the circle of the land.
You watch him start to look you over. He gets close to your face and starts to sniff you. Ah, you're a coastal druid. Very cool. I've never seen someone that lived in the sea that became a druid.
Yeah, I enjoy it. What circle are you with?
Well, I'm part of the shepherds.
Ah,
We typically go around ensuring that the life cycle of all the creatures within the land is going on without any sort of incident. Which is kind of why I'm here. This is my new domain that I've been assigned to from the World Tree.
wow.
What's
That's impressive.
What's the
I
world
question,
tree?
yeah, World Tree.
The
I
World
question that.
Tree, well, that's kind of, he kind of thinks for a second, and as he thinks, he sits down, and then he looks
As
down and he stands back up and goes to drier sand and sits back down, and he grabs his feet and starts rocking back and forth and goes, World Tree, what does it mean? What does it do? He gives out a loud sigh and he looks at you guys and goes, well, essentially think of it as everything is connected, and the World Tree is that connection. So I work with the Archdruids that maintain the World Tree. There are probably countless worlds, all of them part of a branch of the World Tree, and each one of us Archdruids are responsible for one of them, and this is my new residence.
New residents?
Yes, I mean, I've been to other places before, but this is the new place that I've been assigned to, and I'll come and go after a while. Since I just got this assignment a little while ago, I have to make sure that I know everything, and I've learned one thing. This desert is not very forgiving.
No. There's also a large ancient dragon around here.
Yes, I saw him, and that's when I turned into a camel. He did not eat me.
Oh, he said that his favorite food was camel, so you're kind of lucky.
You see, if a bear's fur could go white, you see around his face starts to go white a little bit, and then he shakes his head. He's like, no, no, no. He must not have been hungry, or maybe I just didn't look like a very good camel.
I'd recommend a beetle next time.
Yeah, something smaller.
A beetle. And he shapeshifts into a beetle, and it's a very small beetle, and he starts to move around. It's very colorful too, and then he undoes it. Oh, maybe this. And he does it again, but now he's like, probably whoever of you are like 6 foot tall, he's about half your height. And he's got this big ass horn now, and he opens up his wings and starts to fly around. And then he lands and goes, and then he poofs back into nature form. That is actually a lot of fun. Thanks for the recommendation, friend.
You're welcome. I have a question, Nietzsche.
Yes.
You say that you were just assigned to this world. That means that you've been on other worlds?
Correct.
Do you know anything about the demon gods?
Demon lords, you mean?
Demon lords? Yes.
I know they're quite powerful and you shouldn't fight them. Otherwise you'll die.
Well, yeah.
But I've never met a demon lord before, and I really hope I don't.
There's been quite a few summoned to this world.
What?
Yes, we've seen at least 2 get summoned right in front of us.
Oh. Well, that makes my job a little bit more complicated then.
Oh, in what way?
Well, now that I am somewhat a protector of this world in a sense. Now it's kind of, I guess, an issue that I have to figure out. And he kind of scratches his head a little bit. And he's like, but I don't know what to do. I've never met a demon lord. Are they nice?
No,
No.
not particularly. No.
So then how did you meet them and not die?
Well,
Yeah, you explain.
sheer luck. The only thing that we do know is that the people who have been serving them have been kidnapping and killing royalty in order to summon them into this world.
Interesting. What is a royalty?
Someone of royal blood. A prince, princess,
What makes
king,
their
queen.
blood royal?
Birthright?
It's, I believe that they're just the ruling power of the land. They've obtained power somehow in the past, and the family's held on to it, and they're just a regional power in the area, basically. And they
Interesting.
consolidate that through like their bloodlines.
Very interesting indeed. Well,
Well, clearly there's something, since there are many beings that recognize their scent, or however you want to call it.
Well, yes. I'm not sure what that's about, but it does have to mean something.
I mean, I've never met that Tusculi queen before, and yet she somehow recognized me immediately.
You
he
are
starts
correct,
to sniff
actually.
you. You smell like cherry blossoms, so I don't understand.
What do I smell like, nature?
You smell like seaweed. It's actually quite relieving.
I'll accept that.
Question for you, nature.
Yes.
You seem to be well versed in transformations and whatnot.
Correct.
I proceed to take off my helmet and show him my gills.
Ooh,
Have
how
you
did
ever-
you do that?
Apparently, it was from one of the demon lords. The one that lives under the water somehow did this to me, and I've had it for a little while.
What does it do? And he starts to like sort of like look at it, and he gets a claw close to it, but he doesn't touch it, and then he starts to sniff it. You smell like seaweed too.
Yeah, they're gills.
Interesting.
To help him breathe underwater.
Oh yes, I know what gills do, but to see a human with them is very strange. I'll be honest, I only know about how to transform myself with the help of spells and stuff. The fact that someone was able to transform just a little tiny piece of you, that one is a little above my head. But perhaps maybe when I head back to the Wild Tree, whenever that is, I could possibly ask and see if maybe there's a way to figure it out. I'm assuming all of you want gills?
No.
It-
I'm good.
Convenient,
I have
as
some.
it, convenient as it may be above land, or in water rather, it does make it a little difficult not being in water.
That makes sense. Does the sand get in there and then it feels very, very almost like when sand gets up in your nose, except for this is your gills and there's like 6 slots and that's just, I hate sand. It's coarse and it gets everywhere.
I don't like sand.
Hair cutting out.
Real quick, Cyrene, roll a nature check.
Okay.
I gotta go use the bathroom.
Go for it. You've heard talks amongst your druid circle about this world tree, but the things that you've heard different things. You've heard that the world tree is based on, whatever world you're on, and it kind of like brings all of the land or all the nature together for the world. And the way Nietzsche's talking about it, it's almost as if it brings many worlds together as part of one world, which is not what you've kind of heard.
Okay.
Am I normal sounding?
Yes, you are.
Okay.
And just in case anyone forgot what Nietzsche looks like, I'm populating his token.
God, I love Nietzsche.
You should have shown the creepy one instead when you were doing that.
I thought
God
about
damn
it, but I
it. I
wasn't
would've
trying
been
to fuck
so
up
mad.
Gerald. Not yet.
Not yet.
Yeah, one day.
Though you may not be familiar, does it? Can you tell anything about it?
Stop! I hate that thing. Oh.
I'm not even paying attention to the screen. I saw it at the corner of my eye and I jumped, bro.
That's perfect.
Chill.
That's the best.
Damn it, I hate that bird so much.
Sorry, you were saying, Reed?
Though, do these gills look permanent or like a blessing or a curse or magical? Can you sense anything like that?
He sits down and he starts to cast a spell. And after 6 seconds, he casts a spell, and his eyes kind of light up with this sort of like greenish tint. And he looks at it and he's like, well, they're definitely not magical. But more than likely, you said that the demon lord gave them to you from under the water.
That would be correct.
He casts Druidcraft in his hand to sort of emanate the sunlight that's coming from the current weather, and he takes out a like this sort of sun umbrella and puts it above his head to where it casts a shadow over his face, almost like when you put the flashlight underneath your face and it like makes parts of your face dark. And he goes, "It must be a curse. A curse! Why are you not
good.
terrified?"
So we're cursed. Sweet.
He puts his sun umbrella back into his backpack and goes, "Well, I've been trying that act for a while and it still hasn't worked. How to make this scarier?" And he stops worrying about what you were talking about and starts thinking about something different.
Cyrene, that is a very blasé attitude to take towards being cursed.
Hey,
cursed?
Alfred.
I believe Nietzsche was just joking.
About what?
So, are we actually cursed? Like, is Lacan actually cursed?
I have no idea, but that would
Yeah.
be my guess.
Alfred.
He is still in the party, I think. Or he's
In the
muted and
party?
doesn't know. He could have fallen in, who knows? Yes, I would say that if a demon lord gave that to you, from his point of view, it's probably not a curse, but a blessing. But you said that it was quite inconvenient above land, so I would think of it more as a pseudo curse, like half curse, half blessing kind of thing. I don't know if there's an actual term for it, though.
Well, speaking of curses, I got hit by a mummy earlier, and I've just been feeling unwell since then.
Ew, that's really gross. Where did it hit you?
I take out the little fleece doll and point him to the exact point where I got hit by the mummy.
I got touched here and here.
Did it do this to you?
Oh my god.
That episode of South Park, that's hilarious. But he goes, "Do you mind showing me the wound?"
Sure.
Okay. And as you sort of uncover the location where it's at, you notice that there's this sort of like necrotic, like your flesh has started to turn black, and it starts to seep with this sort of like green ichor. Very, very gross looking. And it definitely, like, you can feel it there, and you can feel like it's pulsating itself, sapping out your very energy. Lacan, you feel the same thing in the spot where you got hit too.
Mhm.
Oh, oh my, that is absolutely gross. I have never really ran into a mummy before, so I would have to say that this is some sort of, and he pulls out his sun umbrella, casts Druidcraft, a curse. Finally, it fucking worked. I can't wait to tell Walker. And he puts away his sun umbrella and goes, "Thank you, friend. But also, that's really, really awful that you have that curse. I don't quite know how to get rid of it, but I could try."
The scroll box that Alfric had, when Alfric's here, I'm going to take that scroll of remove curse from him, assuming he's willing.
Jeff, you're muted. Alright, Jeff's still AFK. Well, yes, hopefully you can end up figuring it out, as he casts a spell and nothing happens, because that didn't work. It's not magical. But you notice, the spell that he did cast, yeah, never mind. It didn't get rid of your water breathing. He doesn't have to get rid of everything. Well, real quick, I guess, is there anyone here that could tell me a little bit about this world?
I mean, I think
Is
we all
that
can.
a general, like, well-being of the world, or
Yes,
how it...
more like how does it all operate? Is there like is there an empire of dragons that rain fire and hell from above, or maybe perhaps a group of mages that try to hunt you down because you asked them a good question and they didn't like the answer?
Well,
Foreshadowing.
you never know about those
Maybe
things.
there are orcs that you accidentally die from, and then snake people bring you back to life.
Hashtag too soon.
Or,
Yeah, I said foreshadowing.
or
Foreshadowing.
maybe a group of dwarves that live underground with no trees.
That's sad.
Yes.
But possible.
I begin to tell him about the city of and the Ziradel Empire, because that's pretty much all I know.
Oh. So there's multiple empires that rule little bits of land, and your empire rules the desert.
You got it, Bray.
Interesting. Very interesting. He pulls out a journal, and you watch with his claw. Cyrene, you know that he's casting, or he's using Druidcraft to write in Druidic on his journal, and you are the only one that can read this, if
Sweet.
you were to get close enough. But it's like you see the tip of his claw turns or creates this green orb, and he starts to scribble down notes. Very interesting indeed. Which of these empires would you say is the leader of all of them, or are they all equal?
They are currently in a treaty of peace, but
Oh, that's good.
I'd
But
say
they
the
are-
City of Guilds has the most amount of power. Ish.
so
I mean, they're
they
the
have
ones
like
that take people from every country, so.
however, the empire to the northeast of the desert, I would avoid going to that one.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Why is that?
They are of military might and not friendly to outsiders.
Sounds very, very similar.
I'd also avoid the water for a bit as well.
Similar to what?
Sounds very much like a place of utter evil. A place that charges absurd prices for honey. Crystal Hollow.
I've returned.
Oh, good. We've been trying to get a hold of you.
My bad. I also had to fold my bread and stuff.
Alright, so pretending like I never spoke to him before, Alfred,
Yes.
that scroll of remove curse,
Mm-hmm.
can you use it on me?
Oh, what happened?
Hold on. Why don't we do the smart thing? Let the wizard copy down the spell to his notebook.
Are your gills a curse? Is what you're thinking?
Well, it's more than that.
I also like the idea of being uncursed. Thank you very much.
Well, yeah.
I also
gonna-
believe I'm probably cursed too.
What did I miss?
Come on. Okay. Hey, you know how we were attacked by those mummies?
Yeah.
Yeah, that plague crap that's like eating away at our skin.
Oh,
Yeah.
that. Yes. How about I copy this down real fast?
I don't believe it's that fast, friend.
Well, I only have one.
Well, yes, but, well.
It takes like hours.
Yeah, it takes a while, actually.
Well, no, I mean, like, I only have one scroll, so I can only use it one time.
Correct. Or you can copy it down into your spell book. But to do that, you have to have the materials and the time to do it.
So who's biting the dust here? Is it just Lacan?
Lacan, myself,
Mirrodin,
maybe Cyrene.
probably Cyrene,
Maybe Lacan twice.
maybe Lacan twice.
Oh, I only have one scroll, though. You see my dilemma.
See, I don't think Lacan and I are urgent. I think Mirrodin is.
How you feeling? I also hear an echo.
Like
From who?
my body is being eaten by maggots.
As he's saying that, Nietzsche gets right behind you. Look, Alfred, and goes, "Yes, if you look at that disgusting piece of flesh on his torso, that's what he's talking about. It's really gross.
I want to take a look at it.
I would not touch it at all.
Oh, no, I'm not gonna just gaze upon it.
Actually, do touch it, Alfred.
No,
touch it, please.
I'll cut some of my mage hand and touch it with mage hand.
Yes, do that."
Okay. Why are you so persistent? Okay. Alright, summon mage hand.
And Nietzsche's like right behind. He's kind of hiding behind Alfric. As the mage hand gets closer to Mirrodin, what does Mirrodin do?
It's whatever. I'm just gonna let it happen, I suppose.
As the mage hand pokes it, there's this
Ah!
green pus that squirts out.
Oh.
Alfric, make a dexterity check to see if you get out of the way of this green grossness.
I'm on a misty step that shit.
That's not a reaction.
Oh, then I'm gonna dexterity do that shit.
Yeah, you are. Okay, yeah, you duck out of the way, and Nietzsche's still standing there.
Nice.
Oh my! Oh, it's in my eye! Help! Oh my god! And he starts to run around frantically, like he's waving his paws, like trying to brush it out, and he like buries his head in the water, the sandy water, and starts shaking. And he's like, "That was not a good idea. I can't see anything. Please, please, sir." And he starts moving around very slowly with his paws outstretched, looking for the first person that he comes in contact with, which is Zuka. He grabs Zuka and he grabs your horn and is like, "Can you suck the poison out of my eyeball, please? But be gentle, don't take my eyeball."
So he did get hit?
Yeah, he got hit with that ichor. And it's gross.
Okay. Okay, so I kind of like shove him off me real quick and
Use the water skin.
and then oh, can I do that?
Sure.
At maximum
Flushes us
level.
out for 15 minutes straight. I wash station, you know.
Exactly.
All right, so as I knock him down, I put my foot on him and like tell him to be still.
Jeez.
And I aim the water skin like with one eye and try to line it up with whatever that is on his face.
All right. Do you say?
I just say fountain.
Okay. Fountain's the first one, right?
I think it's the
No, that's
second
the
one.
second one. Yeah.
Okay. So 5 gallons of water. It comes out at a slow enough rate to where he's like, "Ugh," and he moves his eye and he starts sneezing. But eventually he starts to like squint his eyes and he rolls over to the next one. And after about 5 minutes of you just doing this for him, he's like, "Oh boy!" And you look at his eyes and they're all like bloodshot, and he sort of shakes his head and like, "Well, that was an adventure. I think I deserve some rest for the rest of the day."
Yeah,
Wow.
hey, don't rub your eyes either.
Oh, what happens if I rub my eyes?
They'll
Just-
hurt more.
You'll be cursed.
Just don't.
Oh no. Okay, and he puts his paws like by his side. Well,
So real quick, Brady. So we can't get close enough to the thing after watching that whatever is on him attacks us, right?
nothing
No,
attacks you guys. It was
it's
just
filled with pus and squirted.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah,
thought
it's-
it was like alive.
no. It's
I
just
don't
a
like
wound.
that statement.
It's
Okay.
just a wound that when Alfric used Mage Hand to touch it is like a zit and it exploded. But he was
Oh.
able to duck out of
God.
the way, but he got into Nietzsche's eye.
Can I-
Gross.
Can I use my diagnose ability on him to possibly see if I can figure out what's affecting him?
Roll diagnose real quick.
Cyrene looks seasick.
Yes, you can.
All right, I'm gonna do that then with gloves on
Okay.
and my dark vision goggles. I don't want that touching me.
So
Put like a
Rakim-
scarf over your face too.
Rakim asks for permission to diagnose you, Mirrodin. Do you accept?
Fine.
All right,
Can I
so
touch you?
I hand
Don't sound so exasperated. They're trying to help you.
the water skin.
Cursed.
I hand the water skin to Cyrene and like ask her to hold it so I can, get sterile real quick.
Okay.
I got you.
He starts washing his hands and shit, and Nietzsche's over here like writing all of this down in his book. This is
Careful.
very interesting. So after a minute, I assume you want to know the diseases, poisons, or curses, and what other thing?
I want to know his score, but can I know them
Yeah.
privately?
Yeah, I'll tell you both of them privately.
Okay, thank you.
But yeah, you do find out. I'm gonna send you a message on Discord.
Okay.
Is he peeking at my stats?
Somewhat, yeah.
How dare he? Rude.
I'm trying to help you out.
Rude.
And you said his strength, dexterity, and constitution score.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe some human trafficking based on your worth.
That's what it sounds like from particular stats that he wants. Shit.
Wow, this pterodon
Oh,
has
that's
really
stats
good
blows.
stats. It's got
Lost
really good strength and
$100.
weight. It's got shitty HP stat though. Alright, they're coming your way, Gerald. And then, yeah, so you have that information now. Do with it as you please.
I do that laugh too.
That was so evil.
Mirrodin like straight rolls his eyes.
You hear Nietzsche go, laugh manically when you're done.
So you're writing this down in his journal.
Yes, he was. Very good. I've learned so much. Maybe this world isn't full of bad things after all. You are all quite good people.
I like you too, Nietzsche.
Oh, you're quite sweet. Thank you very much. I can't wait for the time that you become an archdruid and you can join us at the World Tree.
Agreed. It sounds like fun.
Yes.
I start telling him about the ocean.
As you start doing that, he puts his wrist up to his face as if he's looking at a watch, but nothing's there, and he goes, well, look at the time. I need to be going.
Wait, Nietzsche, is there a way we can contact you again?
No.
Oh.
Not unless, well, I do know there's a spell out there. I think it's called Sending. But now that you know who I am, you'd be able to send that spell as long as I'm still here, on the world, I mean. And I guess alive. But unless you do have that spell, I have no idea. Perhaps next time I could find you. Maybe if you do something to the nature, like, and you really concentrate on trying to contact me, perhaps once I get a little more well versed in this world, I would be able to hear it. Especially because you're a druid.
Awesome. Thanks, Nature.
Yes, and thank you all for teaching me a couple things about slime and how to clean your eyes and maniacal laughter. I'll have to
Before
work
you
on it.
go, do I have a map of the world or no?
I believe you purchased one.
Yeah, I think I do. I want to go up to Nature and say, "Hey, do you have some spare room in your journal? You want to copy this down real fast?"
And you
That's
open up the map.
yeah.
Sure.
Shit.
And he flips to the back of the page, and you notice that as he's flipping through, you can see other sketches of different, like, floor plans, I get, or world maps, essentially. And he's got like 4 of them, and he gets to the end, and he starts to jot it down, and he's actually quite good at drawing really quickly, like a rough sketch of it. And after about 30 seconds, he goes, well, this should help me get around a little easier right now. I can tune it up a little bit later. And he
That was
closes his
fast.
book, and he puts it away and goes, but yes, I need to be continuing my scouting mission.
All right. Good to meet you.
Yes, it was quite wonderful. I hope that there are more groups out there like yourselves that I find, because, well, I feel like you people are more fun to talk to than some of the people that just stay in one location for a long time. But regardless, and he sort of stands back a little bit, I will hopefully run into you guys again. Probably not anytime soon, unless you happen to be where I'm adventuring. But yes, Irene, if you really, really need me, just try to use your druidic energy to call me, and hopefully I receive it.
Okay. Thank you, Nature.
Yes, and you all have a wonderful trip. And he turns around, starts walking, and then he starts running, and he jumps up into the air, and you watch his whole form with this green energy swirl, and he becomes a griffin, and then starts flying off into the air. And he's gone.
Rakim,
Yo.
were you able to diagnose anything?
Oh, about my man's right here.
How did you forget in the time that it took for the bear to leave?
Oh, well, he was distracting me. But what I come to find out is you're dying.
Oh, wow. Thanks.
Oh my god.
Yeah, how fast he's dying.
Specific.
You need to work on your bedside manner.
Oh, well, he's always kept it straightforward with me, so I just thought I'd spare him of that and just let him know that he's dying.
Okay, can you tell
What
me
do we-
exactly what way I'm dying?
I point towards the infection. That way.
Wow. How long will it take for me to die?
You would guesstimate, depending on how much it affects him, anywhere between 24 to 72 hours.
And all of you have this, right? Siren, you too?
No, just
and
so
No,
the
just
thing that
Mirrodin.
you noticed, the Mirrodin has, only Lacan also has it. But the thing about Lacan's like gills and Cyrene's super clammy skin, you can't tell what it is.
Oh.
Wow.
Would I know what this is that you sent me, Brady?
Yeah, you know it to be called mummy rot.
I let him know what that is.
So that's the only characteristic he found was the mummy rat?
Correct, from Mirrodin.
Zuka, do you think if I cast Healing Spirit or one of my healing spells, it'll help a little bit?
No, I don't think it will. It's more of
So,
like a necrotic thing. It's a curse.
Okay.
Well, seeing how everyone has, or two of them have it, I'm gonna just start to copy this down then. And make
Thank
more.
you.
So you're
You
gonna have
the
to hold out,
necessary
buddy.
components.
So are you just gonna sit in the middle of the desert for 6 hours doing this?
Well, I could either do that now, or we could get to shelter first. How
I mean, I
far
have a
away?
little bit of time before I ultimately die. We can go somewhere.
Okay. I mean, the closest place is the Tisculi Queen's dwelling? Question mark?
Do you
Dwelling?
think she'd let us stay?
I mean,
well, we needed to report to her anyways.
Yeah, and also, just a suggestion: the shamans may be able to take care of him.
true, but
Do we trust the shamans?
I don't have a reason not to.
I could do it for free in 6 hours. Or I guess after a long rest, I have to like select a spell, don't I? So yeah.
Yeah, it's not a ritual, I don't believe.
No. So I mean, I can do it tomorrow.
I feel like I might be alive by tomorrow. It's fine.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, I mean, it's your life, so
Very
yeah,
hopeful.
Sure.
Let's get on to that Tisculi place then.
Is everyone in agreement to that?
Sure.
I'll keep close eye on Mirrodin.
Okay. So it'll only take you guys about a couple... Actually, it'll take you 2 hours on Camelback to get to the Tisculi Hive. And because of your survival check earlier, Zuka, you guys get there with no issues. But about 30 minutes outside of the Tisculi Hive, as you guys are walking, you can see the mountain range and stuff like that. And you can see some of the Tisculi like warriors and stuff. You can see them like flying around on the outskirts of their territory, and you can see them like dive bombing onto like different creatures of the sands. So like hyenas and jackals, things like that, and they're going down and it looks like they're hunting and stuff like that. As you get a little bit closer, though, you notice that in front of you, probably about 50 feet or so, there starts to, like, the sand starts to coalesce and almost looks like it's about to turn into a sandstorm in one location in front of you. But then from the ground up, you start to see a figure start to appear. And none of you know who this is, but Zuka knows who it is. It's his, it's basically the family shaman. What was her name again? Gwina. And as the sand sort of completes itself, the sand turns into flesh. And as you guys get closer, she starts walking closer with her walking stick and goes, "Ah, Prince Rakim, I was hoping that you would be heading home by now. Your mother's condition has gotten worse. And I just felt that you should be notified as soon as possible that she might not make it. So if you wish to see her before she passes, if she passes, of course, I would head home as soon as possible."
So Rakim is starting to kind of shake a little bit from the news.
"I have done everything I can, my child, everything within my power. And so far I feel that it's only given her a chance, but it hasn't ultimately cured whatever's been going on in the past few weeks."
Okay. Okay. I look towards the rest of the group. I gotta go. Can you take me to her? Or how soon can you take me to her?
I unfortunately cannot take you myself, but I can guide you.
Cyrene puts her hand on Zuka's shoulder. I'll go with you, friend.
No, you can stay here with the rest of them. Because I don't know how my family would take. I mean, not that they say, not that they don't trust you guys or anything. Seeing as this is a family matter.
I understand.
Hi, shaman lady?
Yes.
Do you happen to be able to remove curses?
I mean, in my physical form, yes. But this is just a way for me to talk to Prince Rakim. It is not I do not control or have any other powers residing within this form as it is. And she takes one of her fingers and she grabs it and like breaks it off, and then it just crumbles into sand, and then a new finger reforms. As you can see, it is merely a shell. But come back to the capital, and I'm sure I can take care of you and whoever else.
How far are we from the Schoolie Cave?
You guys are like 30 minutes outside of it right now.
And how far away are we from the capital?
About a day's travel.
Huh.
I don't think
What?
Mirrodin will last that long.
Yeah,
Well, we're pretty close to the cave. If you wish to head back, Rakim, we won't be but a few hours behind.
That's fine.
Well,
Though I would still suggest that don't go alone, just to be safe venturing back to your kingdom.
so yeah, if anyone wishes to go with Zuka, aka Cyrene, you obviously can. You don't have to listen to him. You can still follow him if you wish.
I made my offer. It's up to him. If he wants me to stay, then I'll stay.
What were we going to impart knowledge to the Discoli Queen about?
The orc situation, or I'll do it in character. We need to inform the queen that none of the orcs were aware, and that the shamans were going to investigate which clan had attacked and for what reason. Perhaps it'd be best if you traveled back with Rakim and get the mummy rot taken care of as soon as possible.
Well, I guess you're more hardy.
It pains me, but I feel that I probably have more time and will only be behind by a couple hours.
Alright. That's all the convincing I need. Prince Zuka, by your leave, I will be accompanying you back to Ziradel.
Very well.
Mostly so I can get cured.
Let us be on our way then. Follow me, Prince Rakim, and you notice that her legs, like her feet kind of like dip into the sand a little bit, and then she starts to just glide on the sand surface. And she's going actually a little bit faster than your camel can keep up with, and she adjusts for the speed to where you guys are able to comfortably follow behind her, and essentially make a straight shot to get to the capital before a day's travel is up. So we'll get back to you two in a moment while the rest of the crew heads to the Tusculi cave. At this point in time, once you guys reach the Tusculi cave, it's about 5:30 in the afternoon/evening. And when you do arrive, you can see the Tusculi drones that are in the cave. You see them using the pickaxes, but they're using them correctly now. And as you guys walk up, they kind of turn around, and they're tiny little guys, and they sit there in a pair, like 5 pairs, look at you, and they all wave with their like 6 arms. But you can't understand what they're saying as they clack their mandibles together, and then they turn around and get back to work.
I'll just slowly enter the cave.
Yeah, proceed towards the key or Queen's chamber.
It's dark.
Get a torch.
All right, it's not dark.
Okay.
Simple solutions.
And
So
then,
yeah, as you get
step
over
in
there, you notice that there's a couple different like wildlife creatures that are kind of like on their last breath. It looks like you notice that their bellies have bulged to pretty abnormal sizes, and you can only guess that this is them being used as hosts for the Tusculi Queen's eggs. And more than likely, this creature or these creatures are going to die here soon and then be consumed and stuff like that. But the Tusculi Queen is currently, she's got 6 other Tusculi, very, very, very tiny, basically children around her as she's sitting there, sort of clacking her mandibles at them, and then she turns around to look at all of you, and you see her antennas sort of like flick a little bit, and she goes, "Ah, yes, you're back. And what did you find?"
Well, it seems that the orcs relied upon caravans from the Luxodon Kingdom. However, a gang known as the Black Hand was intercepting these caravans for a couple weeks, and the orcs were beginning to starve, and one of the clans probably attacked your kind to feed on them. Though their shamans are going to converse with each other and figure out which clan was doing this, for they were unaware that these attacks were happening.
Interesting. It would seem that whoever is in control has lost a few of their flock. I would hope that in the future they are able to control their people a little bit more, because I was about ready to go to war. I do not feel that it would be very difficult, especially if the orcs are in this weakened state, for us to just overturn their whole settlement and reduce them to ashes. Not to mention, can you imagine the amount of Tusculi drones I could create with their bodies?
Not quite. I'm not quite familiar with that process.
Well, let's just say quite a bit. But
Ominous.
if it is as you say, that there were just renegade orcs acting on their own, I will continue to seek out peace with them. I appreciate you coming back to let me know. And if these orcs do attack, though, I will get rid of them myself.
What was that, Reed?
That's what we believe, though, but we were not able to confirm which orcs were doing this. But as I said, the shaman were looking into it, so hopefully they find the answer.
Very well. We will be able to take care of it ourselves if they do attack again, but since I have left, or since you all have left, they have not returned, and I feel that they understand exactly what we are capable of now. Perhaps they were trying to stir up our hive in an attempt to make us attack. But luckily, it did not come to that.
What are your relations like? Do you prefer being at peace with the neighboring nations?
Why, yes, it makes it a lot easier to sustain the amount of drones that I wish to have in my hive. If we were at constant war, it'd be a little harder. For my drones, as you all know, are quite brittle, very feeble and weak, but they are many. Granted, if my whole hive were to attack, I'm almost certain that we could perhaps conquer Ziradel ourselves, but more than likely I feel the other neighboring nations would come at their rescue and wipe us out. So yes, I would prefer peace. We have been able to live for the past 100 or so years in peace with Ziradel Empire. I do not see why we couldn't do it now.
If you were to challenge Ziradel, I doubt the neighboring nation would defend them. They'd probably just take advantage.
Duly noted. Well, do you have anything else to report?
No, that was all. Unless Alfred here or something.
Did you know there was a giant ancient blue dragon in the desert?
Nindarog?
Oh, you know him. Everyone seems to but us.
Well, of course I know him. I've been alive for a couple 100 years.
All right.
He is essentially the ruler of this desert. He just gives the guise of allowing an empire to live within it. It's honestly quite hilarious.
How does he allow you to exist here as well?
I mean, we help him feed on occasion. Not to mention the fact that the endless sandstorm beyond our hive here, but beyond the mountain range, I should say, is a very good way of us hiding from him.
All right.
But we've been at peace. He doesn't really bother with us. We made peace with him long ago. And we do not hunt without giving up some sort of offering.
Okay, so you give him a tribute of sorts.
Correct. And I would advise you to do the same anytime you are to go into his domain. The deeper you go, the more you must offer.
Well, all right. Thank you for the advice.
Yes, thank you. And as a token of my appreciation, she points with two of her arms to a couple of somewhat fresh corpses from a few days ago that were used as hosts. If you would like, their coin purses are still intact. You may have them.
Oh. Thank you.
You're quite welcome. And thank you for the updates on the orcs.
Oh, yes. Anytime. Go over and rummage through those dead corpses.
Okay, so one of them is one of the soldiers that you were fighting with during the Tusculi raid, and there is a coin pouch on his belt. It is a Luxodon that is currently sitting there with his belly pretty much wide open, and you can see his intestines and stuff like that. Do you grab his coin purse?
I do.
Okay. So as you open it, you see two things. You see a little piece of paper that's folded up a couple times, and then you see 12 gold.
I grab both.
Picture of his daughter.
How'd you know? And yeah, if you unfold it, there is a picture of this Luxodon, a female Luxodon, and a smaller female Luxodon, and they all look extremely happy.
Of course, you had to add a tearjerker in there. How do you think I knew?
They were extremely happy. What do you plan to do with these corpses over here?
Eat them, of course.
They're probably food.
I
Precisely.
see.
They have served their purpose and have given me a good amount of eggs, and now the only thing is to wait for them to hatch so that they may feast.
Do you particularly like the taste of human?
It is meat. It is fine. Luxodon, on the other hand, is quite... it's tough. It's not as easy for my my newborns to eat, but it does what it needs to do.
Alright. Well, that's all I had.
Actually, I guess I do have a question.
Go ahead.
How were you able to sense that I was royalty?
She kind of like flutters over to you, and with her little antennas, she starts to like whisk around your face and stuff. There's something in your blood that gives off this scent that I'm smelling. Your friend, and she goes over to Alfric and does the same, does not have this characteristic, although he does have a scent of the arcane. Blood is a very special part of any living creature. It can give you so much information that you could not get on just appearances alone. Your royal blood does have a peculiar scent to it, which is why I was able to determine that you and your, I forget if Cyrene actually went off with Zuka. I don't think she did. So she looks over, the queen looks over to Cyrene. That's how I was able to tell you two and your other Luxodon friend as royals.
Well, I guess it's worth asking. These gills, is there anything you can smell or sense about them? They're not natural to me, being a human.
They are tainted with demonic scent. I am not one for assuming things, but you've definitely dabbled with a demon recently. That much I can tell for certain. Whatever it is that you did to the demon, or the demon did to you, you are tied to them in some way, shape, or form.
Gross.
Unfortunate.
Very much so. And unfortunately, even more so, demons are not of this world, so I am not well versed in their culture or powers. So I unfortunately have no answers or no ways of providing you answers for what exactly this all means.
Your Majesty, in your dealings, have you known anyone who does have that information?
She kind of thinks around and goes, my only guess would be maybe a shaman from the Ziradel or the Orcish settlements. That would be my closest thing. They're the more religious folk. Speaking of religion, maybe if you find someone at the Church of the Lightbringer, perhaps you could find your answer there.
Okay. We'll be sure to check it out. Thank you.
You're most
Your
certainly
Majesty.
welcome.
Is that common knowledge? Where the Lightbringer Church? Or...
You know that there's many different temples, but the one she's referring to, she has no idea where the, like, official, like, really big Lightbringer church is.
No, I meant like if that was common knowledge, or
Roll
known
religion.
knowledge, rather.
Okay. So with that, you know that the Lightbringer church is somewhat known to be in neutral territory. You just don't know exactly where. And when I say neutral territory, I mean uncontrolled by anybody, including the City of Guilds. And you know that there's only a few places in the world that are kind of under that banner. Or I guess classification is a better word. Did I don't think I ever posted it to you guys. I'll repost the picture and resources of like the what's it called? The territories of all the empires and all the neutral locations.
Mm-hmm.
Let me find it. I might just do it after the session.
I turn toward Cyrene Alfric. Do you have any further information or questions?
Not particularly, no.
Well, I believe that is all we have then. Appreciate your help.
Yes, no problem. And obviously you've been running around for quite some time. And she heads over to the Luxodon body, and with her mandibles she starts to chop up some of the appendages and stuff. Here, have some snacks for the road.
Oh, you're
We're
too
good.
kind.
We have some.
But
Thank you, though.
I just ate
No
before I got here.
disrespect, but we don't really eat other humanoids, being that we are humanoids ourselves.
Very well. More for me and my hive. Be
Rude.
safe out there then.
Oh yes, you as well.
And she proceeds to start eating the right arm of that Luxodon.
Delicious.
So I would say that whole thing probably took you guys just about 20 minutes to do. So you guys are about a little shy of an hour behind Mirrodin and Zuka.
Okay.
And I'll assume that everyone's going to want to ride through the night, or is the group, or either group's going to break camp and take a long rest?
I would assume probably through the night to get rid of that mummy rod as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Okay. So everyone go ahead and roll me Constitution saving throws. Lacan at disadvantage.
Not like it mattered that time, but yep.
Yeah.
Damn, guys.
What's my wait?
So,
I'm confused. My
Mirrodin-
con page.
Huh?
My Constitution bonus is at 6. Why is my saving throw? No, my.
Yeah. So Lacan.
Are you proficient with your Constitution?
He's not. No. So Lacan has a passive ability that while you're near him or in sight of him, you actually get half of his proficiency added to saving throws. You're not.
I thought that was going to be active till town, but okay.
No, I was gonna make it active now, but we'll do the flavor part of it once we get to town.
Okay. Yeah. Anything you're not proficient in, you're getting +2 to right now.
Yeah. Which I updated.
As long as I'm within LOS. Yeah.
Yeah.
If I leave LOS, it technically is not active at that time.
These proficiencies are too damn high.
So let's see. Lacan and Mirrodin will take a level exhaustion. But ultimately, you all will make it to Ziradel within the early morning of the next day as you guys ride into town. And as Mirrodin and Zuka we'll go ahead and pitch over to you guys. As you guys get probably within like the next 1,000 feet, the shaman, as she's sort of gliding on the sand, sort of turns around. Well, Prince Rakim, I will meet you in your mother's chambers. Your father has gone to sleep, but I know that he wishes to speak with you. But I would suggest coming to see your mother first. And as she finishes saying that, you see her form start to meld into the sand and then just dust. So, as you
I make haste to the
okay.
to the or
So as you get closer, you start to ride into town, and the townspeople that are awake, mainly the guards and stuff, they all bow as you move past them with haste. And Mirrodin is at your side. You guys get to the capital, or at least your castle, I should say, and we'll go ahead and go to the Ziradel capital. I'm going to change the music here too. Now, as you get closer to your mother's chambers, the guards do hold up Mirrodin and go, "Halt."
Yes, of course.
Okay. So I don't know. I think in game time, this next part with Gerald and myself, or Gerald and his mother rather, will only take like maybe 20 minutes in game time. But we can go ahead and fast forward that the rest of the crew gets to Ziradel. So while Gerald and I are in the private chat, you guys can go ahead and roleplay as much as you want, and we'll be right back.
Hey, before you, can I make a request from Mirrodin?
Go for it.
So I give him my bag and stuff. And I also tell him to go find Abel, if he does not mind.
Okay.
And also tell him to go check out the shaman, I guess.
I guess.
All right.
Yeah, you dying and stuff, but if you want,
So
real
But I need
Yeah.
Abel.
Yeah. So real quick, what we'll do is the door opens and the shaman comes outside. Yes, Zuka, I will give you a moment with your mother. And she looks over, and you, come with me. It should only take a few moments to get rid of that curse.
Thank you.
you were supposed to say, "Come with me if you want to live," but you know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
you
know.
really missed a golden opportunity there.
Okay, fuck y'all. I'm just joking. Rocks fall from the sky and everyone dies. Also kidding.
That
doesn't happen.
wild magic must still be happening somewhere.
Oh yeah. I'm just kidding. Let's see. Go ahead and Mirrodin, you can put your hit point maximum back to the max as she ends up casting Remove Curse from you. And you can slowly see that festering necrotic wound start to shrivel up, and eventually it turns into like a single glob of green ichor that falls down, and before it even hits the ground, it just disappears. You've been cured.
Gross, dude.
Yay! Thank you.
All right, and then yeah, we'll be right back. Okay, so let me. So as you walk in, you see your mother sitting in the sort of infirmary. It's like the royal infirmary, and you know that this is the place that you were given birth. This is the place where your siblings were given birth. This is where you've always come anytime you've needed to be helped in any sort of way, and you see your mother laying there very still.
So I'll go walk up to her
Okay.
and hold her hand and tell her, "Mother, your boy's here."
Okay. So as you do, she kind of comes awake and she looks and she's like, Rakim, and she holds your face. Hold on, this is a little harder than I thought it would be. I don't know if I can roleplay this.
Yeah, we don't have to if you can't, bro.
No, I think we're good. Hold on.
Take your time, bro.
Okay. So yeah, she touches your cheek and says, I knew that you were okay. I always felt that you were okay. I'm glad that I finally get to see you. What all has happened?
So much. Honestly, just so much. I don't even know where to begin.
Well, as long as you're safe, that's all I've ever cared about.
Right? I mean, I'm doing okay. There's just like so much going on. And I'm sorry that I haven't had time to come through and come see you at all.
No, you've been doing your country a great service, and I've done my country a great service by just giving birth to you, and I can't wait to see you become the king that you're meant to become. You're going to lead our people to many great things, I can feel it. Why, yes, yes he is. And you hear this voice coming from behind you. And as you turn around to see who it is, Sergorius appears out of his invisibility. Rakim, I think you have something for me, do you not?
Okay, so I turn around and look at him, and then I look to see if my mother is still there.
She is.
Can she see it?
She's looking at you and does not seem to notice him.
Holy snap. Okay. I don't even know if I even have it. You never told me what it was.
Oh, I know that you have it. It's that book that you got from the tomb. I watched as you grabbed it. I have been keeping an eye on you with my magic. You guys did quite well within that tomb. And now, he holds out his hand, the book.
Okay, so I don't have the book.
That is quite a problem then. And as he walks over towards your mother, you look back to her and you can see that she's in a stasis right
Um. So I run to try and like get him off.
Okay, so you try to, and he sits there and he starts to laugh in your face as you try to move his hand, and he just grabs you by the throat. Roll a dexterity saving throw at disadvantage.
Okay, give me a sec.
Okay. So as he grabs you by the neck, you try to slip out, and he's able to grab your trunk and hold you up. And you're kind of sitting there like dangling from your trunk. And he looks you dead in the eyes, and you can see this like fire in his iris. You had one simple job, and you still have time to get that book for me. But I'll let you in on a little secret. Your mother, this is no natural sickness. This is all a part of my plan. And if you ever defy me, I will take her life immediately. And he lets go of your trunk as you fall. And then he starts to walk over towards you and he stretches out his wings. He bends down while you're on the ground. Do you understand me?
I don't say anything. But I'm very angry. I'm like super pissed.
Okay. Now, Rakim. Dear old mommy, she doesn't have to die. In fact, that's not the goal at all. She can be used for great things. But I will tell you now, there's one more task that I require from you. just to make sure that you're exactly what I need. And as he walks towards the window, he opens up the curtain as the sun starts to slowly rise above the horizon. Remember Prince Grom of the Orcs?
What about him?
It's time to figure out who's stronger, you or him. Because whoever it is will become the rightful king of this country. Your time will come soon, Rakim, as he turns around. You will know when it's time to see whether it is you or him that will take the crown. And I'll tell you right now, if you refuse to slay him, well, he looks over at your mother. And then there's a smile on his face. Need I say more? And after he says that, you see from pretty much from the hooves on his that he's got all the way up to his horns, you see these little blue flames start to sort of grasp around him, and he spreads out his wings one last time and starts doing a maniacal cackle. Very soon, Rakim, we will see what you're worth. And he disappears. And all of a sudden, your mother starts to like squint her eyes and looks at you on the floor. Oh, did you fall? Did I accidentally push you?
So shaking in his boots and eyes like wide open, Rakim starts to cry. But not like sobbing. Like he's just crying.
Okay.
Just tears are falling from his eyes.
And you see your mother start to sort of try to get herself up, but she's much too weak to do so. And she, my son, what? Why? And as she says it, she starts to cry as well.
Oh. So as she tries to comfort me, I kind of just like snap out of it and then bring her back to her bed.
Okay.
And just let her know not to worry.
Whatever you say, my son. And she starts going into this coughing fit, and at that point the door opens and the guards sort of rush in to make sure everything's okay, and they bring with them the shaman, and she comes up and goes, not to be rude or anything, Rakim, but your mother needs as much rest as she can get. If you would step outside, I will tell you as much as I can about her condition. Just let me take care of her for a moment.
So silently, like I look at her in the most like, I guess, mean way possible.
Okay.
Because I assume she's in on this.
She kind of glances at you. Is there something wrong?
Yeah. No. You come find me as soon as possible.
Very well, my prince.
And I storm out.
Okay. So as you storm out of your mother's chambers, Mirrodin is standing there. He's sort of like rubbing the spot where his festered wound was, which is now cleared off, and he's kind of, you can see this really big, relieving face on, sign of relief on his face, is what I was trying to say.
So as he says that, or as I see that, I kind of just like ignore it and just ask him, "You're better now?"
Yes. Thank you.
I just grab my stuff from him and tell him we need to find Abel now, and I just start heading towards where he is.
Okay.
I have no idea where Abel is.
Yeah, you delegated that to the guards.
Okay, so you guys start to leave, and as you're leaving, you get into like the sort of like palace main chamber, and the doors on the other side open, and you see one of the guards come through. Ah, Prince Rakim, we've been looking for Abel and we cannot find him.
Has he been here within the last, like, I guess, day?
We've not seen him since he left with you all.
My eyes start opening, and I take a deep breath.
Rakim! All of a sudden, Abel barrels his way past this guard and like knocks him off on or off balance, and he falls. And he comes up and like scoops you up. And you're a pretty sizable Luxodon, and he's a sizable Goliath, and he's able to do this like with ease. And he grabs you and like spins around. He's like, I could have sworn, Rakim, that I would beat you, but no, you are much too fast for me. That is why you are royal, and I am just a bodyguard. Ah, and Fabio is here too. Haha.
Aye, Abel.
So happy to see him and relieved. I let him know that I need to talk to him alone, and I need to talk to Father.
Yes, we can make that happen. I'm sure your dad doesn't need as much beauty sleep with you in town. Where are the rest of your friends, though? Are you... Oh, no. My condolences. And he starts to... You can see a single tear from his right eye. I knew that they were much too weak to be with Rakim. But at least Rakim and Fabio have made it. And now we know the true warriors of your group, Rakim.
Aren't they like right there?
No, they haven't made it there yet. They've got they've got another like less than 30 minutes of travel. But by the time Gerald is done talking with his father, they will have come and be there. But yeah. So he goes, let us go find your father. What do you want Fabio to do?
I'm going drinking.
Very well. And he grabs a couple gold from his pouch and flicks it your way. Have a drink on me for keeping Rakim safe when the others could not.
Thank you, Abel. Where should I go, actually? I'm not very familiar with the Ziradel Empire.
He comes up and he starts like on your hand. He draws a really shitty map. He's like, you should go there. That is the best place. The dew of the desert.
Oh, I'm going to go to the place.
And make sure you get the specialty drink called the Mountain Dew.
All right. Gotcha.
Don't face palm on my jokes. I'm just joking.
I was like a really bad DM dad joke.
That's what I do. Okay, so as you go to drink, you'll be able to get quite a bit. The guards will take note as to where you're heading so that they can tell your group when they get here. And real quick, Gerald, do you want this next part to be private, or do you want them to hear it?
Private.
Okay.
All right, time
Wow.
to talking shit about the map.
Hurtful.
We'll say that you guys end up while he's talking to his father, you guys end up getting back to town. You head up to the castle, and the guards tell you that Rakim will meet you guys at the Dew of the Desert Tavern, which you guys will end up meeting with Mirrodin. And then Gerald and I will be right back. So it doesn't take long for you and Abel to get to your father's chambers. And as you do, the guards outside...
Now I was going to say, I wanted to speak to Abel in private before I spoke to my father.
Okay, so as Abel is sort of leading the way. So Rakim, tell me of your exploits. What all did you see in that tomb?
Never mind the tune. So this I want able to know that I'm being like serious with him because this is the most serious he's ever seen me.
Oh yeah. He kind of looks around, and there's a couple guards at the end of the hallway. He goes, "Hey," and he like does he points at them and then does like a "get out of here" with his thumb, and they sort of bow and they get the hell out of the area. We can talk privately. I can tell you're upset. What is the matter?
Until I figure out what to do, I need you to keep a close eye on my.
What is wrong with your mother besides the sickness?
There's something going on that I honestly cannot explain, but I need you to keep her safe.
You have my word, my brother.
All right, so um, I'm trying to hold his tears. It's like, please just make sure she's safe, and then I go in and like try to.
And he nods it and bows. It is my sworn duty to do as you tell me, and I will protect your mother. And if I do not, then my life will be taken because of it. And then you go ahead and you open up the door to your father's room, and he is currently there getting dressed and stuff like that. And he turns around, "My son, I am so relieved to see that you are alive and able. You did quite good. I'll make sure that you have plenty of gold to spend for bringing my son back alive." And he comes up and gives you a really big hug. You must tell me, my son, did the orcs, did they take you? Have they committed treason? Do we need to march on them now?
Can I just roll like a perception check to see if he's like actually concerned about this?
Yeah, roll insight.
Okay.
Okay, so what you can tell is he is generally concerned for your well-being, but the fact that he's just willing to willy-nilly just throw the orcs aside is a little concerning to you.
Oh, oops. I didn't private that. Well, they don't know it.
Yeah, they have no idea.
Okay. So let me ask you something. Have you like made any enemies like or anything like that? How much do you actually know what's going on with the king?
He kind of sits there and goes, "What do you mean? I mean, every kingdom has an enemy of sorts, but I do not know any personally. The kingdom is fine. The orcs are fine. They've been getting their supplies. Well, hold on. Did he? No, he hasn't been told yet. So yeah, he
Yeah.
hasn't been told yet. Yeah, they've been getting their supplies like we have always done. Everything seems fine. Why? Have you heard something? Is there something the matter?"
I inform him of like just the orcish dealings in general,
Hmm.
and just let him know that they have not been getting their supply.
And you're saying the Titanians have been doing this?
As far as I know.
Abel, the room, please. Yes, my king. And he turns around and walks out and closes the door. Your father stands up and he's got this he's generally concerned, and he walks over towards the mirror and he punches it and it shatters into like 1,000 pieces. "Damn them Titanians, they're ruining everything. My son, you are the next in line for the throne. And unfortunately," he turns to you, "I wish that I could make your transition much easier, and I wish that the things that our family has been doing to run this country were not, in a sense, dirty. But this is the way of things. And now I feel that it is now time for you to understand exactly how this kingdom is ran. Please come have a seat. And he goes and sits at his little table where he usually has tea with your mother in the morning.
I choose to stand, but I walk over to his area.
Very well. And he stands back up. Son, the history of the Ziradel Empire is very, very frazzled. The creation of the Luxodon Empire, which is the capital that we live in, has always been our home. And the orcs to the south have always been a very barbaric, nomadic tribe. We were at war with them far before the founding of Ziradel itself. This much I know you know. The thing is, when we finally did come to terms and were able to essentially merge their tribes with ours, we were not the rulers. In fact, the orcs chieftain, they ruled us with an iron fist. They essentially enslaved us, made us their working pets. We would mine all day, all night. We would end up giving them everything that we had to make sure that they were more comfortable than us. Essentially, the way that we live now was in reverse, except for we do not mistreat them. That is the difference between the orcish brutality and the serenity of the Luxodon. It wasn't until we decided to name our empire Ziradel that we found a way to essentially tone down their aggression. And this is the reason why these supplies not getting there is of much concern. Do you know why you're so good at alchemy, my son?
I shake my head no.
The Luxodons have always been skilled practitioners in the medicines and such. And alchemy is one of our most esteemed sciences. It was centuries ago that one of our head alchemists was actually able to create a concoction that could be put into a water source and essentially calm down those of orcish blood to the almost to the point of passiveness, to where they would do whatever they were told as long as it did not threaten their life. They were tested on, and our research proved fruitful. And it was at this point that we decided, that our kingdom, our ancestors decided that it was probably best that Ziradel be ran by Luxodon instead of Orc. And without Orcs ever realizing it, eventually they all calmed down, including the chieftain of the Orcs. And then proper negotiations between Orc and Luxodon were able to commence, and the Orcs ended up giving up all rights and all forms of leadership to the Luxodon, and swore their lives to the Luxodon as servants. And it has been that way for thousands of years, my son. This supply route that we've been doing for thousands of years. This water that we drink through our purification chambers isn't actually all that pure, at least not to Orc. It is tainted with the concoction that we use in order to quell their aggression. And that is ultimately why Luxodon reign over Orcs, where it should be the other way around, and it used to be. My son, if this were to ever get out as public knowledge, you do understand that there would be a civil war between the Orcish tribes and the Luxodon. Perhaps even some Luxodon taking their side. This is our family's secret, and as the future king, it is your duty to keep it that way. I fear that Zam, because she was not getting the water, that is why her aggression has started to surface again. That is why they've been attacking the Tusculi.
Shit.
That's why they've been trying to essentially take over what they used to have. And it also explains why Bozon is still the way that he is. He has been drinking the water.
So he's not even. So all. So so all of this is. It doesn't. It doesn't make any sense.
What do you mean? Of course, the orcs drink the water, and they're subjected to our will. It's quite simple.
So, so Rakim starts to pace back and forth and just starts saying, "No, no, 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 no. This can't be it. This." So all this is a lie.
Well, not really a lie. It's just covered up, is all.
How? Oh man. So that doesn't make any sense.
What doesn't
So
make sense? I can explain it better, maybe.
So how am I? So are we even of royal bloodline?
Why, yes. We were of the royal Luxodon bloodline, and the orcs had their own as well. It's just the fact that instead of having two separate empires, now there's one, and we are at the head of it.
So what makes you think that we couldn't form some type of peace now, especially with the City of Guilds being in, I guess, control?
I wish it was simple, my son, but you just haven't seen the orcish brutality as I have. I've tried to see if we're able to speak with them by keeping an orc aside in a chamber alone without their tainted water, and they are as barbaric as they ever have been. There's no way that we can do it without this alchemical substance. You have to understand that if we were to stop it, the orcs would separate from the Ziradel Empire, and more than likely they would invade.
And then with the Titanian Empire right next door, that doesn't make it any better.
Exactly. They would see this as a moment to, I don't know, think that this is a cleansing maneuver, and they would sweep in and take back portions of the desert, if not the whole thing.
So that means they know. They have to know. That's why they were there messing with the supplies.
But it just doesn't make sense why they would know about the alchemical solution. There's no way. This is a well-guarded secret. Only myself and the lead alchemist even know how to make it.
The only thing that I can think of that might know it, or could have, and then I mutter Sigorius' name under, like, my breath and stuff.
I'm sorry, who?
Never mind. So let me ask you. So you're stuck in a hard place, or we're stuck in a hard place.
Correct.
What do you do to solve it? You've been faced with this before, I assume.
Well, it's quite simple. Now that you have essentially gotten rid of the Titanian soldiers, my plan was to go ahead and increase the amount of supplies we send so that the orcs get their water supply and essentially get back under the thrall of us Luxodons. And I will make sure that we have battlements on the borders between the Titanian and Ziradel empires to ensure that no Titanian enters while we conclude an investigation of their breaking the treaty. And if we were to find out something, we could send it to the City of Guilds, and they would be in quite big trouble.
The City of Guild would be in trouble?
No, the Titanian Empire. For attacking our supply routes to our orcs.
Well, I would think they would need to know. That explains a lot, but then there's no telling what the city would do to us. And I work for them.
Listen, son, they don't need to know what is wrong with the water. They just need to know that our orcs have been getting
No,
not any of the supplies, and we had no way of knowing.
Father, we can't keep lying to the people. That doesn't. I mean, if anything, you're the one that kind of taught me. But I don't even know. I don't even know anymore.
I understand that it's a lot to take in, and I really didn't want to have to tell you in this way, especially with crisis at our doorstep, but believe me, I am doing everything in my power at this moment to make sure that everything is right. And even though it is our little secret about the water, it will remain as such, and I need you to confirm that it will remain as such. Do you understand me, my son? If the orcs find out, they will refuse the water. They will rise up in arms, and they will attack us. And if that were to happen, we would have to use everything at our disposal, and I do not wish to see what that future holds. But that would be the perfect time for the Titanian Empire to strike, and it could lead to another 1,000-year war if that were to happen. He puts his arm or his hand on your shoulder. This is how it has to be done. It has been done this way for 1,000 years, even more, and it will continue as such until we find a better way, but he shakes his head. There just is none. Orcs are savages, but they're
Oh,
really good at fighting, and we need them.
so as so you said Amon came and put his hand on my shoulder. So as he's doing that, I grab it and just take it off, and then I just let him know. Okay, that's all I say is okay.
Okay.
I also have another question, real quick.
Yeah.
So, I actually informed him about that jewel, or
Yeah,
the
the Jewel
dragon
of
was
the
talking
Desert.
about. The
The
jewel of
Jewel
the
of the
desert. Yes,
Sands. Jewel
the
of the
jewel of
Sands.
the sands. Yes. Have you
I've
heard anything about this?
I've heard about it. It was founded, or it was found sometime in the creation of the Ziradel Empire, but I always thought of it as a myth, as there is no such jewel in our coffers or anything like that, but if it is to be true, maybe you could go and seek it out at the very jewel store with that name. It is in the more luxurious district of Ziradel. It is actually where I purchased your mother's headdress.
And what's the name of the spot?
The location is also called the Jewel of the Sands.
Okay. All right. So yeah, I guess that's it so
That's it?
far.
Okay.
Yeah.
They folding at that point.
Or is he talking about like folding dough?
Yeah,
Oh,
folding
maybe that's
dough for his sourdough bread.
Oh, he just said he was gonna go fold bread, so we
it.
were
Yeah, there was like
questioning
no
what that
context right now. I was
was.
really confused.
Yeah, because it's almost like when you make a pie crust, you have to fold it all to mix it because there's like little pockets of
Mm-hmm.
air that you need to be in there for it to cook properly.
Like croissants.
Correct.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Interesting.
So Rakim, you exit your father's location, or your father's chambers, and Abel's standing there, and he's standing far enough away to where he wouldn't be able to hear anything, and he goes, "You look like you just received bad news. Shall we go meet up with your friend and have a couple drinks?"
Yes.
Perfect.
Yeah. Hey, but also remember what I told you.
Yes, Mike. Yes, Rakim. And he starts leading you to the Dew of the Desert, which your party is arriving at the exact same time because reasons. And as you guys all walk in, You see Mirrodin is already like 7 drinks in.
Mirrodin's upstairs.
Upstairs in the dew.
He made bad decisions.
Did he go to sleep?
Well,
Something like that.
well, either
I mean,
either,
you could
either
use the
Mirrodin
word
likes
sleep in there.
Oh, those bad decisions. Very nice. Alright, so yeah, Mirrodin is, when you get in there, you see one table with like 7 drinks, one of them like completely spilt all over the top, and the bartender is just sitting there cleaning it up. And you can hear, actually, is it very loud and hootin' hollering, or is it, you can't even tell?
I imagine Mirrodin's just fucking passed out at this point because he's exhausted.
But anyway, there's a Luxodon with a rag, and he's cleaning up this table. And as Rakim and Abel walk in, they see there's not very many patrons. There is a Luxodon lady that's walking out of a room and heading downstairs, putting her clothes back on currently. And as you and Abel have a sit at a table and start to order some drinks, the rest of the party walks in. Except for Mirrodin, he's asleep. You guys may talk.
Yeah, and so I don't notice y'all coming in. I'm like too busy staring at my.
Didn't someone say Mirrodin was over here?
Abel looks over and goes, the fact that he not here, excuse me, bartender, did you see Fabio? He got this flowy, luscious golden locks. He elven. He's like, yep, he was just, with, and he points at, the Luxodon lady that's leaving. He was just with her, and obviously things went rather quickly. He just got up there maybe 20 seconds ago. Actually, the amount that he was drinking and the way he was acting, I'm sure he probably just went in there, paid the girl, and then went to sleep. So you know that Mirrodin is in the vicinity, and you know that he's probably asleep. What can I get you fine folk? My Johannes. And he bows down to Rakim. I'll be right back. And he heads to the back, and you can hear him rummaging through some bottles and stuff like that. And after about 20 seconds, he comes out with a freshly made roast, which he puts on the table, and he comes out with this really like bougie bottle of wine, and he places it down. I was saving this for when you finally came to my tavern and was of age, so cheers, my prince. And he opens up the bottle, pours this really, really strong but really smooth red wine for you and your companions to drink.
Thank you, sir.
My pleasure. Anything for the prince and his family. And Abel grabs the bottle from him and goes, "This will be a keepsake for Rakim!" And he starts drinking from it, and he's like, "Oh, that is the strongest grape juice I ever had there. That's some good stuff. You got more?" "Sadly, no, we do not. But if you need anything else, Prince, just let me know. House has you covered."
I'm gonna go up to Mirrodin's room.
Okay.
Or try to find whichever room he's in.
It's pretty easy. One of them's cracked, and you can hear snoring.
I'm gonna go in there and proceed to... Is he covered up? Would it be obvious to
No, yeah,
see
he's
where the
definitely.
previous wound was?
Yeah, like you see his shoe. One of his shoes is off, and like his robe, like one of them is down like midway to his shoulder as he was attempting to take it off, and then he's just laying there on a bed.
So can I tell that the zombie, what was it called again?
The mummy rot?
Zombie rot or something? Yeah, mummy rot.
Yeah, you
Can I
don't
tell
see
if
it.
that's...
And you know what location it
All
was
right.
at.
I'm gonna wake Mirden up. Perhaps by shoving him, and if that doesn't work, finding water and throwing it at his face.
I will allow Martin to tell me how much it takes Mirrodin to wake up.
I have returned.
Hi.
No, it's fine. Mirrodin can wake up. What?
It looks like you removed the mummy rot. Did the shamans take care of it?
Yes.
There's a fly in my room. Go away.
That's all I need to know. Go back to sleep.
Okay. Thank you.
I walk downstairs to Rakim.
Okay.
Rakim, where do your shamans normally reside?
Abel puts down the bottle of wine. I will take him, Rakim. She most likely with your mother. And I need to get down to business anyway. It was a pleasure seeing you all again. And he goes up to Cyrene and grabs her hand. And it was most pleasure for you. And then he
Good to
walks
see
away.
you too. I'll go with you, Lacan.
Perfect. Now this is a party that could get quite wild, eh? Ha ha! And he smacks his hands and opens up the door. I only kid, she a lady. You there, prince with the dirty mind, huh? And he pokes your helmet and makes a clink sound.
I have more.
That would be hilarious if you did that.
No, I'm talking about like Abel. When I heard Abel like smack, like that's what I was thinking.
So
I'm afraid I have more pressing matters to worry about.
Oh yes. We'll make sure you get to the shaman. And it would only take like 10 minutes for you to get there. And she would be inside of Rakim's mother's room, which Abel would go up to the guards and be like, let me go in, huh? And they move aside and he opens up the door. And he calls for the shaman and says that she is needed. So she'll come out after about 30 seconds and be like, what may I help you with? And Abel will point at you, Lacan, and be like, he needs you for something, I don't know.
We need you for something.
Two of you.
I disattach the breastplate to where there's signs of that mummy rot.
Very well, and she grabs a bundle of herbs and puts them into her mortar and pestle and starts like grinding them up. Pours a little water in it. Drink this. I will let you know now. It is utterly disgusting, but it will help.
Disgusting is better than agonizing death.
I agree.
May I take your hand, ma'am?
Sure. And
And
she
then
holds out her hand.
Cyrene lets her feel how clammy her skin is.
Oh, you are quite cold to the touch, even in the desert. How is this?
We had a run-in with the same demon, and it did something to us. And we think it might be a curse, and we were hoping you might be able to help.
Demons. Shamans stay far from demons, my child. I know of their dark magics, but I do not know how they perform them. I unfortunately will not be able to help you if you have been touched by the demon. That is something that someone else of either higher calling or someone that knows more about the demon would have to do.
Is there anyone like that in this city that has a higher calling that might be able to help, or?
She kind of thinks about it, and she's like, I mean, the Luxodon, they have their ways, they have their gods, but no one does demon ritual here. Even orcs, they have their own gods. They don't worship no demon. Might I suggest that perhaps you should look for more holy location.
It was suggested to us to go to the Church of the Lightbringers.
Ah, the Lightbringer. They could probably help you, yeah. But I do not know where they are. We shaman have our own mystics in the nature, but the Lightbringer are all about the pantheon.
Okay, well, thank you for the information and for trying to help.
No problem. Now, if you would excuse me, I need to tend to the queen.
Yes, thank you.
And Abel, kind of, as he walks in with her, he looks back and goes, You all, I'm glad to see that you did not actually die as I had once thought. But make sure that Rakim, he stay alive. Otherwise, we have problem. And he walks
We will.
inside with the shaman to stand guard.
Well, Lacan, it looks like we either have to try and find that church, or we have to go back into the ocean and find one of the people who brought that demon back.
I have a map ready for
I
that.
would.
I'm kidding.
Hopefully, we can find the Lightbringers as a more
Hopefully.
preferable option.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I don't mind going back, but it might be difficult finding someone from the group that has enough power to heal us.
Do you know what happened to you, by the way? Obvious that I have gills, but
Not
do you
really.
know how
All I know is
it
that
affected you?
I have really clammy skin, and she like holds out her hand. And for some reason I've had visions of the demon since then.
Well, hopefully it's bearable until we find whoever can assist.
Hopefully.
Though, I'm going to see if I can find some type of tinker shop to bring that robot, that mechanism, whatever that. Like, what do we call it? Warforged in this?
Yeah, it's a Warforged.
That Warforged. See if we can get it repaired and functional again.
Did you want company, or did you want to just meet back at the pub?
Up to you.
I think I'll go to the pub. It's been a long couple days.
Sounds good.
Is Lacan going to find a tinker or go back to the pub with her?
I'm gonna ask like the guard where any tinker engineer like group would be, and take that Warforged there.
Okay. So they would sit there and kind of look at each other and go, well, are you sure you really want to go to one of those locations?
I'm assuming, unless you know of a better place to work and repair this Warforged type of being.
For Warforged. No. In that case, yeah, you'll need to go to Loxham's.
Could you point me in the direction?
Certainly. And he points on his map into, we'll say, this location, this little red building right here. And the tavern that you guys are drinking in is this red building up here.
Alright, well, thank the guard and I guess head to that building then.
So we'll go forth with Lacan, and then we'll get back to the party at the tavern afterwards. So as you walk in,
Well, actually, hold on. What? Isn't it like early morning or like super early morning?
yeah, it's about 7 o'clock, but the door is open.
Okay.
And as you go inside, you see this gnomish fellow wearing goggles. His face is blacked, like with soot. He's got this. He's got a balding head with that sort of like mad scientist, crazy gray hair coming from the sides, and he's got a wrench in one hand and a bottle of wine in the other, and he's just currently on his countertop. And he's got like, you can see he's got like a single tooth because his mouth is wide open, and he's got a bunch of different little trinkets and tinkered toys and things like that, all types of weird shit. And you do see like a sort of half-assed warforged that's sort of like propped up in one of the corners. Is that you smacking the table?
I was attempting to make a knock sound.
Okay.
Or, yeah.
Hey, go away!
I'll knock some more.
Fine. And he sits up, and he's got his, you can tell his eyes are closed, and he's kind of just like looking up at the ceiling. And he takes his bottle of wine and he starts sipping it. Empty! And he tosses it to the side and it just shatters. And he hops down, and he like, as he hops down, he obviously like misjudged how the distance is, and he like stumbles and hits his face. He fell back asleep.
Is he like within reach, or is he like on the floor behind the counter?
No, he's on the like, you'd be able to go up and like touch him and stuff.
I'm gonna kind of like shake him, you know, like the "You okay, sir?" You know, like that generic.
Oh, yeah. He's like, huh? And he kind of sits up again, and he like, you can tell he's blinking. He's like, why is it so dark in here, huh? Can't see nothing. Did I turn out the lights again? Wait, I don't even have lights. Why can't I see you, stranger? Where you at? Why are you hiding from me? And as you're looking at him, his goggles are completely covered in soot.
Is there like a cloth nearby?
Yeah, there's plenty of like cleaning cloths and stuff like that you could grab.
I'll grab a cloth, drop in his hand, wipe your goggles.
My God, he kind of, why? Aren't you just a gift from the gods? Ha ha! I can see again. It's like I've been blessed. What can I help you with, Mr. I? And he starts hitting your armor with his wrench. He's like, oh boy, that's some high quality right there. Did you make that?
I did.
Ah, mighty fine work. Maybe if you ain't part of a business, you could be part of mine. I could use someone good in the forge.
Perhaps, but for now, I'm here to try to get this warforged repaired if possible.
Kind of adjusts his goggles and goes, well, look at there. I haven't seen that model in about, he scratches his head, 50 years or so. Actually, and he goes through and you watch him, he grabs the foot and he kind of like pries open the little plating on the foot, and he's like, well, I'll be damned. This is one of the first ones I ever created. How'd you find this?
Well, it was out in the desert. Apparently, it was hijacking caravans for a while.
Come again? They aren't programmed to do that.
Yeah. Well, someone programmed this one to do that.
No. There's no way. I made sure that there was no way to crack my code now. Well, and he kind of thinks about it for a second. I guess I made it 50 years ago. Man, I need to update them codes. And he goes,
Well, before you update the code, but I'd
yep.
appreciate if you could restore this one.
Well, and he starts going around and he takes out a wrench and starts, and screwdriver and stuff like that, and starts undoing certain parts. And he, oh man, that's not good right there. When's the last? Oh, hold on a sec. Here's the reason. Your power core's missing, of course. You ever heard of turn it on, turn it off, turn it on again, and it'll work again? Sound true words.
I pull up the power supply. We did try that, but for the time being, I left the power out just to be on the safe side. It did attack me after all.
Well, if that's the case, then, you know, I understand your necessity and need to do some stuff, but there's some safety protocols I'm going to have to run on this thing before I bring it up and running. Probably give me about 5 hours or so, come back, and I should have it all ready to go. Are you just wanting to talk? Are you wanting it to do anything specific? You want me to wipe it and make it yours, like fresh?
No, I need to figure out who programmed it, why, etc. I need its memory intact. But do keep it from being able to move or go anywhere itself. I would suggest having the legs and arms disabled.
Oh, yeah, I'm well ahead of you.
Talking.
And he starts to do some random stuff to it, and he's like, well, yeah, to make sure it's immovable and its memory core is intact, it's going to probably take me about 5 hours or so, but I'll go ahead and get working on it. And he starts scratching his head. There is a fee, of course, and depending on how hard it is, depends on how much it is. Does that make sense?
Well, is this model still of use to you, being 50 years old, or would it be scrap at this point?
Well, I mean, if it still works, it's perfectly fine, obviously.
I mean, once I'm done with it, it can be yours, if that helps.
Yeah, I can go with that. Be a nice little helper. Always could have used one of them. And he starts to go to town tinkering, and he starts talking to himself. Now maybe I could teach you how to make a really good grilled cheese. I've got a recipe, but I can't seem to fucking do it myself. And he seems to have forgotten that you're even there, as he starts getting into his work.
Yeah. I'll go ahead and keep in mind to return 5 hours later, roughly.
Okay.
I guess I'll head. Assuming they're still at that tavern, I'll head in that direction.
Yeah, and this is only like a maybe 5-10 minute deviation, so we'll go ahead and
then yeah.
Yeah, pop forward right before you guys are probably about to take a long rest. As you guys are all sitting there and stuff, is there any role play that anyone wants to do before I do the last part and then close the session?
I'm good.
I don't think so at this moment.
Rakim? Gerald?
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, my bad. So what was going on?
I'm just asking if you guys wanted to talk real quick before I close the session.
Oh, okay. Hold on for 1 second. Oh, so so is everybody at the tavern?
Everybody is at the tavern. Mirrodin is just asleep upstairs.
Okay. So, So now that we have everybody, Rakim starts to look around just to make sure everything is good. So I let them know that I am in a dilemma. And I start to tear up.
What's your dilemma, Zuka?
I am torn between my people and my personal interests right now.
Personal interest being
My mother.
Is there anything we can do to help her?
Or
Sure
help you.
there is. You can do as I tell you. And as that is said,
I can't.
the bartender turns around and walks over to you guys and has a seat. Rakim, I'm assuming this is your compatriots that you went into that tomb, and you have what I need, correct?
I pull out a book out of my bag and hand it to the bartender.
Perfect.
What's going on, Keem? What are you doing?
Oh, he can tell you as much or as little as he pleases, but just remember, Rakim, soon we will see who is the rightful heir for this kingdom of Ziradel. But until then, he points to the back of the bar. That man back there needs your help. And the bartender starts to walk out the front door.
Cyrene heads in the back quickly as possible.
You see the exact same man, but he's got a dagger in his chest.
All right. Going to pull it out and do healing spirit.
Okay. So the man, the bartender, is taking in really labored breaths, but as you take out the dagger and cast your healing spirit, it's less and less labored and more. And he looks at you and he grabs your hand and goes, I owe you my life. Anything that you ever need within my establishment, I will do within my means. Thank you so much. And he starts to cry. My wife and children, what would they have done if I were to pass? That man, he looked exactly like me. And he starts to just babble on and on as if
She's
he's
like
just seen a
trying
ghost.
to soothe him.
Roll an animal handling check. Okay, you do not soothe him at all. In fact, you make it worse.
Wow.
You sit there and you're like, well, I mean, you still could die. And he's like, oh my god. Oh my god.
Or like something along the lines of like, well, we all do die at some point. So it's,
he starts
sooner than
freaking
later.
out. And he's like, thank you, but you're a really shitty counselor.
I'm here to help, sir.
Like, thanks for healing me, but please get the fuck out. Like, go away.
So,
I'm sorry, it's been a long day.
So after Cyrene's done healing, there's not really a door per se. It's more of like there's an open entrance with these sort of like fabrics that hang down to sort of like keep the sun from getting outside. And this bartender has just gone outside, and the flaps kind of sort of settle, and he is out of y'all's line of sight at this moment.
So, Rakim, can you explain who that was?
We can't hear you, Gerald.
Cyrene's gonna come back out now so she can hear this.
Okay. And yeah, Gerald, if you're still talking, we don't hear you. Well,
I'm on the phone right now.
gotcha.
So Yeah, it's like an important phone call.
Okay, yeah, you're good. I guess we'll just end it there with the sort of
Carl.
yeah. So you guys approach Rakim as he's kind of still sitting there, still kind of baffled at what just happened. And you guys are like, "What was that all about?" And then that is where we will end.
Explain, Carl.
So I'm gonna end my stream real quick. I'll be right back. All right, so I do apologize for the tears in the beginning. It's really not easy at all to do anything that has to do with anyone's mother, especially when role playing as the mother, just because of my personal history as my mom passed away a couple years ago. So, still a fresh wound. I don't think I'll, ever really get over it. It's just one of those things, but that has nothing to do with the story. But yeah, some nice role play today. A lot of good lore and reasons for things to happen have finally gotten to the players. This is Gerald's story arc right now, so like it's very heavy set focused on him and his character. But eventually we'll get to the rest of the characters and their story arcs, and they'll have their time to shine. So it's always a fun time doing story arcs. I love it. So until next time, peace.